Hey there, sleepy cuties. Settle in. Wiggle your toes. Let your shoulders melt. Let your blanket snuggle around you like the coziest cloud in the Candy Kingdom. Tonight, we're drifting somewhere soft and magical. A place where even spooky things have warm hearts. Take a slow breath in and let it drift out in a long, quiet sigh. Good. You're safe. You're warm. And you're ready. In the Land of Ooo, the night was peaceful around Finn and Jake's treehouse. A gentle breeze rustled the leaves outside, making a soft shh sound, like the tree itself was already half asleep and trying to hush the rest of the world. Inside the bedroom, Finn lay on his bed with his hands behind his head, staring up at the ceiling. Jake was beside him, stretched out like an overcooked noodle, snoring with little puffs in his cheek. Finn whispered, "Hey, Jake, you awake?" Jake snored louder, his whole body shimmying like jello. Finn smiled, but then the smile faded into a thoughtful little frown. "I don't know. I feel kind of restless tonight. Like something's calling me." Jake's ears perked in the middle of a snore, and he mumbled, "Calling you to snacks." "No, man," Finn chuckled softly. "Not snacks, like, adventure vibes." Jake opened one sleepy eye. "Well, if adventure's calling, then we should at least answer the phone." He yawned, stretched dramatically, and rolled off the bed. "All right, dude, let's go." The two slipped outside into the cool night air. The sky above was a deep, dreamy blue, and the stars twinkled like they were blinking sleepily. Finn and Jake walked across a field lit only by night flowers glowing softly around their feet. Fireflies drifted lazily in golden spirals like tiny lanterns drifting on a slow breeze. Off in the distance, a forest stretched upward, tall, dark, and strangely quiet. Finn stopped walking for a moment. "That's weird. I don't think I've ever seen that forest there before." Jake squinted. "It's giving off major, creepy, mysterious forest that we should come back to in the daylight vibes." But then a whisper, soft as a feather, floated through the air. "Whisper, whisper. Come closer." Finn stiffened. "Jake, did you hear that?" Jake floated upward a few inches, paused, trembling. "Yeah, okay, cool. Forests shouldn't whisper. They should, use signs." But something about the whisper wasn't scary. It wasn't mean. It was lonely. Finn took a step closer. The trees ahead rustled gently as if greeting him. Jake stretched out one long arm in front of Finn. "Bro, wait. Maybe the forest wants to eat us, or borrow money. Both are bad moves." But Finn shook his head slowly. "No, I think it wants to talk, and I think it's sad." A leaf drifted down from the nearest tree and landed on Finn's shoulder like a tiny hand reaching out. A whisper breathed through the air. "Hello?" Finn's face softened. "Hi." The forest exhaled a gentle breeze, almost like a shy sigh. "Friend?" Finn nodded tenderly. "Yeah, we can be friends." The branches shivered in happy surprise. Jake blinked. "Dude, we just got adopted by a forest." The whisper returned, still soft, still gentle. It didn't pull them in. It invited. So Finn and Jake stepped into the woods. The air changed as soon as they crossed the tree line. It became cooler but soothing, like a comforting hand on a tired forehead. Glowing moss shimmered faintly beneath their feet, lighting the way in the gentlest way possible. The trees curved inward slightly, bending protectively over the path. Jake whispered, "This is either incredibly magical or the beginning of a very slow, cozy doom." But Finn smiled. "I think the forest is hugging us." A low whisper brushed their ears, tiny, shy, hopeful. Welcome. The path deepened, and a quiet glow gathered in the air ahead of them, swirling softly. Finn stepped forward, and the glow coalesced into a misty memory. Faint figures appeared, children laughing under the canopy, people resting beneath its branches, travelers humming lullabies, all peaceful, all happy. And then the scene faded, like it had always been made of moonlight. The forest whispered, trembling slightly. They left. None came back. Alone. Jake's expression softened. Oh, buddy, you've been lonely this whole time. Finn rested a hand on the nearest trunk. We're here now, and we're not going anywhere just yet. A warm shimmer rippled through the woods, the leaves glowing brighter in gratitude. Farther inside, something twinkled faintly, like a secret waiting deep within the trees. Come, the forest whispered. I will show you more. Finn looked at Jake. Jake looked at Finn. You sure? Jake asked. This place feels like emotionally big. Finn nodded gently. We're helping a friend. Jake sighed. And that's our heroic duty talking. Fine, let's go. The forest parted its branches politely to let them pass. The whispering turned into a soft lullaby made of rustling leaves and distant echoes, soothing both of them as they walked. Finn's eyelids drooped slightly from the calm. Jake's head bobbed sleepily, and he stretched into a cozy blanket shape around Finn without even realizing it. After a while, the path opened into a mossy clearing. The ground shone softly with pale green light. Jake immediately flopped onto it. Oh, yeah, hey, this is like sleeping on warm marshmallow fluff. Finn sat beside him, sinking into the soft moss, while he leaned back, staring up at the canopy. The branches swayed slowly overhead like they were rocking the clearing to sleep. A gentle whisper drifted down. Rest here, friends. Finn closed his eyes halfway. Thank you, he murmured. Jake, already half asleep, mumbled. 10 out of 10. Great forest. Would nap again. The air smelled faintly of vanilla and sweet berries. The forest hummed a low, soothing melody. Everything around them grew warm, soft, peaceful. Finn felt the moss cradle him like a cushion. Jake snored a tiny, contented snore. And the forest whispered tenderly, when you wake, I will show you the heart of the woods. The night deepened. The whispers softened. And Finn and Jake drifted slowly toward sleep, wrapped in the gentle embrace of a forest that had finally found someone to talk to. The clearing was quiet, except for the soft hum of the forest's lullaby. Finn and Jake slept peacefully on the cushiony moss, wrapped in the warm glow of the whispering woods. For a while, the night didn't move at all. It just breathed, slowly, gently around them. Eventually, Finn stirred first. He blinked open his eyes, still half dreaming, and watched tiny fireflies drifting above him like sleepy stars that had gotten lost on their way to the sky. Jake was curled beside him in a very non-Jake-like shape. He had stretched himself into something that looked suspiciously like a giant fuzzy pillow with a tail. One of his paws lazily flopped every few seconds as he snored a slow, wobbly snore. Finn sat up slowly, rubbing his eyes. The forest whispered to him, soft as a friend nudging gently. Awake? Finn smiled sleepily. Yeah, I think so. Jake mumbled without opening his eyes. I'm awake. I'm awake. I'm just resting my everything. Finn poked him gently. Dude, the forest wants to show us something. Jake immediately turned back into his usual shape and sat up with a floppy stretch. Okay. Show us the thing. But can it be a comfy thing? 'Cause I'm still like 37% asleep. The forest responded with a warm brush of wind. Come, follow. The moss under their feet brightened in a delicate trail, guiding them deeper into the whispering woods. Finn stood and adjusted his hat. Jake wiggled to his feet, still yawning big enough to stretch his whole face sideways. Together they stepped off the soft, mossy clearing and into the deeper forest. The trees were denser here. Their branches curled like protective arms overhead. The air smelled of dew, pine, and something sweet, like freshly warmed bread. Every step they took made the moss beneath them glow gently before fading back into darkness, like little footprints of stars. Finn whispered, "It feels like the forest is waking up with us." Jake nodded. "Yeah, kind of like it's stretching its branches and going, good morning, friends." The forest rustled happily around them. Far ahead, the faint sound of trickling water began to echo, soft and rhythmic, like someone gently tapping a glass with their fingertip. Finn followed the sound, and soon they reached a small, glowing stream. The water was clear but shimmery, reflecting little swirls of blue and purple light beneath the surface. It flowed slowly, like it didn't want to hurry anyone. Jake dipped a paw into it. Ooh, warm water stream. Fancy? Finn sat on the bank, watching the light swirl. "It's beautiful." A soft whisper drifted from the trees. "Long ago, travelers rested here. They told stories, sang songs. The woods remember." Finn closed his eyes, imagining families resting beside this stream, maybe long ago, maybe before Ooo had changed. He could almost hear the laughter echoing through the leaves, faint, warm, like ghosts of old happiness. Jake flopped down beside him, letting his legs dangle into the warm water. "So you're telling me this whole place used to be like a giant chill-out zone for people?" The wind rustled gently as if nodding. "Yes, friends once filled the woods." But then, silence. Finn softened his voice. "We'll keep you company for a while, promise." The forest glowed, grateful. A moment later, the water began to swirl a little faster, forming a gentle spiral. Finn leaned closer, watching the swirl widen until something faint began to appear on its surface, like a reflection of something not physically there. Shapes shimmered across the water, a tall tree with a swirling pattern on its bark, a heart-shaped hollow glowing from within, a pulse of soft light radiating, like a heartbeat. Finn whispered, "That's beautiful. What is it?" The forest spoke with a deeper, warmer voice, not louder, just steadier. "The heart tree, at the center, where all whispers begin, where I keep my memories, where I wait." Jake blinked slowly. "Oh, man. The forest has a literal heart. That's oddly adorable." Finn's chest swelled with warm excitement. "We should go find it. I think that's what the forest wants." The stream's glow brightened in agreement. "Yeah. Come. I will guide." Finn stood, brushing moss from his clothes. Jake stretched tall, then short, then wide, then back to normal, his wake-up calibration transformation. They followed the water upstream, the glowing surface illuminating the path. As they walked, the forest's whispers grew warmer, more confident, almost joyful. Small glowing flowers bloomed as they passed, lighting the trail like lanterns waking up one by one. The air shifted again. The deeper they went, the quieter the woods became. Not empty quiet, but peaceful quiet. Like the forest was holding its breath in anticipation. Finn's voice dropped to a whisper. "It feels like we're getting close to something important." Jake nodded slowly. Yeah, important in the wow, magical, great adventure way. Or important in the something's gonna jump scare Jake way. The ground hummed lightly beneath their feet. Do not fear. The forest breathed. No harm. Only truth. Finn placed a hand over his chest. We trust you. The trees rustled in a soft wave like gratitude sweeping through the branches. They walked for a long moment more until the trail widened, opening into an archway of branches woven together. Tiny glowing seeds drifted down from above like slow falling snow. Each seed made a tiny ping of gentle music when it touched the ground. Finn gazed upward, mesmerized. This is unreal. Jake stuck out his tongue to catch a glowing seed. Boop, Doesn't taste like anything. Disappointing. Finn laughed gently, and the forest echoed the laugh in soft rustles, almost mimicking it. Ahead of them, beyond the archway, a faint glow pulsed, slow, rhythmic, like a heartbeat. The forest whispered with tenderness. Closer, closer, friends. Finn stepped forward, heart beating in sync with the faint pulse. Jake walked beside him, unusually quiet, his eyes wide with awe instead of fear. The archway seemed to bend around them as they passed under it, embracing them like an old friend welcoming them home. As they walked deeper, Finn felt warmth spreading through the air, like a campfire without flames. The ground sparkled faintly with tiny particles of drifting light. The pulse grew stronger. Gentle, calm, steady. Jake whispered, Dude, do you think this is the heart? Like the actual heart? Finn nodded slowly, voice hushed. I think we're almost there. The forest whispered its softest words yet. At my center. You will understand. You will see why I called. Finn and Jake walked toward the pulsing glow, the warmth brushing against their faces like a soft hand. And as they took their final steps closer, the whispers wrapped around them like a lullaby, promising, You are not alone. You are never alone. And I have so much more to show you. Finn and Jake stood at the edge of the glowing clearing, the soft pulse of the forest's heartbeat drifting toward them like warm air. The whispering woods seemed to be holding its breath, branches stilling, leaves pausing mid-flutter, as if the entire forest was waiting for them to take one more step. Finn took that step first. The moss beneath his feet warmed, glowing brighter as if welcoming him deeper. Jake followed, paws sinking gently into the soft ground, his whole body trembling with a mixture of awe and drowsy wonder. Ahead of them, the glow expanded into a smooth, round clearing. And in the center stood a massive tree taller than any in the Candy Forest, wider than any oak in the Flame Kingdom. The Heart Tree. Its bark shimmered with swirling patterns that moved slowly like gentle waves. The pulsing light came from a glowing hollow in its trunk, heart-shaped, soft pink and golden at once. The air around it was warm, thick with quiet magic. It felt like a hug. It felt like memory. It felt like a story waiting to be told. Jake whispered, Dude, that thing is like the cuddliest tree I've ever seen. And that's a sentence I never thought I'd say. Finn stepped closer, voice dropping to a hush. It feels like it's alive in a different way, awake and dreaming at the same time. A deep, slow whisper drifted from the branches above them. Welcome. You have come. To my heart. Finn placed a hand against the bark. The tree warmed under his palm, pulsing with a slow, soothing rhythm. Jake, still awkwardly reverent, padded up beside him. So, heart tree, sir? Ma'am? Pal? Forrest, buddy. What's the, next step? A rustle of leaves, like soft laughter, echoed overhead. Sit. Rest. And listen. At the base of the tree, the moss shifted softly, arranging itself into a gentle cushion, almost like a seat crafted just for them. Finn and Jake sat down side by side. The warmth from the tree spread up their backs, loosening muscles they didn't even know were tight. Finn felt his breathing slow. Jake melted into a puddle shape, then reformed lazily. A soft glow dimmed the space around them, turning the clearing into a quiet, private cocoon of light. Another whisper drifted. This is my memory, and my sorrow, and my hope, all held here, in my heart. Finn opened his mouth to speak, but the glow from the hollow brightened, and the forests gently hushed him. Watch. The heart-shaped hollow pulsed once, and then a wave of golden mist floated outward. It swirled through the air, filling the space in front of Finn and Jake. Slowly, shapes began to form within the mist. Not full images, more like soft impressions, painted with moonlight. They saw people sitting under the tree. Not Finn or Jake. Older faces, gentle expressions, laughter like warm bells. Children climbing branches, sliding down roots. Travelers laying down packs with relief. Families resting, singing, telling stories. The heart tree whispered, long ago, I was home. To many hearts, many voices, many dreams. Jake tilted his head, his expression softening. So, you used to be like a hangout tree? Finn nudged him gently. More like a place people felt safe. The mist shifted. The images grew clearer. A young girl placed her hand against the tree, just like Finn had. And the tree glowed brighter, happier. She whispered something. The forest whispered back. Finn swallowed. You used to talk with them? The tree's branches shimmered with memory. Yes. They told me stories. They shared their fears. They rested beneath my shade. And I listened. The images turned to warmth. Picnics, songs, soft rain falling, but never soaking the clearing because the tree kept them dry. Jake whispered, Wow, you were like everyone's big leafy babysitter. The forest rustled with amusement. Then, the glow dimmed. The mist swirled slow, heavy, sad. The images changed. Travelers leaving, packing, walking away. Children growing. Voices fading. And then silence. The heart tree whispered. They went away. And I waited. And waited. And waited. Finn felt a pang in his chest. You were left all alone. The hollow dimmed further. Yes, seasons pass. The circuit. Leaves fell. Snow came. Storms. Silence. No laughter. No stories. No friends. Jake, surprisingly gentle, reached out a paw to touch the trunk. Ah, Bud, that's rough. Lonely forest syndrome. Big time. Finn leaned closer. But why did they stop coming? Do you know what happened to them? The forest went quiet. For a long moment, only the faint hum of the heart tree echoed. Then the whisper came, softer, smaller, like a child remembering something painful. Something changed. Far away. A shift in the land. People moved. Paths vanished. I could no longer call to them. Finn furrowed his brow. You mean you were cut off? The wind stirred weakly. Yes, I cried out, but my voice could not reach. And so, I whispered and whispered until someone could hear again. Finn's chest tightened. He knew what the forest meant. He and Jake had heard it. followed it. Answered the call that had been drifting for who knows how many years. Jake let out a soft, shaky exhale. So, we're the first friends you've had in ages. The branches above them rustled like a nod. You heard me? At last. The clearing went quiet for a moment, filled only with the soft, steady pulse of the heart tree. Then the forest whispered again. But deeper still, there is more to show. More you must understand. If you are to help me, Finn sat straighter. We want to help, whatever it takes. The ground shivered gently beneath them, not fearfully, but like the forest was gathering courage. Then, you must see what lies beneath my roots, where my memories run deepest. Jake's eyes widened. Beneath, like underground? Oh, dude. Underground things are always spooky. But the forest whispered warmly. Not to scare, but to reveal. To share truth. To share trust. Finn stood. Okay. We'll go. Jake sighed, melting briefly into a blanket shape of reluctant bravery. Finn, bro, why do underground places always smell like old socks? Finn laughed softly. It'll be okay. The heart tree's hollow brightened. The ground at its base parted slowly, forming a soft, glowing tunnel of roots and moss leading downward. A warm breeze drifted upward from the opening, carrying the faint scent of earth, old stories, and something sweet. The forest whispered one final time in part 3. Come, friends. There is more to my heart than light, and I want you to see it. With a deep breath, Finn stepped toward the glowing tunnel. Jake followed, trembling but trusting. And together, they began their descent beneath the heart tree toward the oldest secrets the whispering woods had ever kept. Finn took the first careful step into the glowing tunnel beneath the heart tree. The earth was soft under his boots, warm, welcoming, gently packed, like a path made long ago for someone who was meant to walk it. Jake followed close behind, stretching himself tall and thin so his head hovered over Finn's shoulder. Even though he was nervous, he didn't want Finn walking down here alone. The forest whispered from above them, its voice drifting down the tunnel like a breeze through a hollow log. Do not fear. You walk with me. You walk with trust. The air in the tunnel was calm and cool, but not cold. It felt like the inside of a blanket fort, dark but safe. Roots weaved gently along the curved walls, glowing faintly like strands of soft gold, lighting their path without needing a torch. Finn touched one root as he passed. It pulsed gently beneath his hand as though the forest was greeting him, reminding him he was welcome here. Jake whispered, Okay, dude. This is very cozy. Like, I could nap here and feel fine cozy. What's up with that? Finn smiled, voice low. I think the forest wants us to feel calm, so we can see the memories clearly. Jake nodded, stretching into a big, fluffy blanket shape that floated beside Finn like a security pillow. Good. Because if we're gonna see spooky, deep memories, I want to at least be comfy while being spooked. The tunnel deepened, the glow around them dimming slightly as though preparing their eyes for the darkness ahead. The whispers from above faded slowly, replaced by a different kind of sound. A deep, gentle thrum, like a heartbeat echoing through the earth. Finn paused. Do you hear that? Jake swallowed. Yep. The forest tummy or something deeper? The thrum pulsed again, steady, calm, ancient. Finn whispered, It's okay. It's like, the forest breathing. Jake pressed closer. Bro, if this forest is breathing this loud, it must have huge lungs. The tunnel opened wider as they continued downward. Moss appeared in soft patches along the floor, glowing pale blue under their feet. The roots above twisted gracefully, forming patterns that looked almost like runes, symbols that had been waiting a long time for someone to read them. Finn traced one with his fingertip. "What do you think these mean?" Jake squinted. "Probably something like, 'Hey, welcome to my basement, wipe your paws.'" Finn laughed softly, but the root he touched shimmered, and a soft echo drifted out. Memories, stories, voices once shared, names now forgotten. Finn's laughter quieted. "Oh, it's like the forest carved its memories into itself." Jake's face softened. "That's kind of beautiful, like a diary made of roots." The tunnel widened again, opening into a small underground chamber. The walls curved around them like the inside of a giant nest. Soft lights drifted like sleepy fireflies. The air was cool and smelled faintly of earth and something nostalgic, something like old books and warm blankets. In the center of the chamber sat a cluster of thick roots, twisted together in a mound. They pulsed faintly with warm light, like a sleeping creature's heartbeat. Finn stepped closer. "Is this part of the heart tree?" A whisper drifted from the roots, closer, quieter, more intimate than any they'd heard above. "Yes, my deepest memories are held here, where time cannot weather them." Finn knelt and placed a hand on the glowing roots. Jake swallowed hard and did the same, though he kept one eye open for anything spooky that might crawl out. The roots warmed beneath their touch, and a soft wind, impossible this far underground, brushed their cheeks. The light brightened, and then the memories began. Not in the form of images this time, not mist, not visions like above, but sound, a soft chorus. Laughter, quiet, gentle, warm. Deep voices telling stories. Children whispering secrets. Songs sung in languages older than Ooo. The forest spoke with those voices. Long ago, they gathered here, beneath my roots, where the earth was warm and the nights were long, to share their stories, their dreams, their fears. Finn leaned back slightly as the memories washed over him, like drifting through the edges of a dream. Jake whispered, "This feels like we're listening to someone's heart talk." Finn nodded slowly. "It is." The memories shifted. Voices grew softer. A father humming to his child. A traveler telling a tale of far-off lands. Friends sharing food and kindness. But then the warmth dimmed. A soft tremor rippled through the chamber. The voices wavered. One by one, they faded. Jake's ears drooped. Oh no. The forest whispered, almost trembling. And then the winds changed. The paths vanished. And the voices stopped coming. The chamber grew quieter. Finn swallowed. "So that's why you whispered for so long, trying to reach anyone." A root gently curled around his wrist. Not tight, not trapping, just resting there. A touch of comfort. "Yes," I whispered. "To the stars, to the winds, to the earth." And finally, you heard. Jake blinked rapidly. "Dude, this forest is gonna make me cry, and I'm made of stretchy dog magic. Do you know how rare that is?" Finn smiled sadly. But the forest's glow changed suddenly, brightening, warming, almost excited. "There is more, still deeper, still hidden. A memory, lost even to me, buried beyond my roots." Finn straightened. "Lost to you? How can a memory be lost to you?" The wind in the chamber shivered. "Time. and silence. And something else. Jake backed up slightly. Something else? Finn, I don't like that wording. The ground hummed beneath them. Not frightening, just insistent. Urgent in a gentle way. The roots at the base of the mound shifted, revealing a narrow passage leading deeper underground, darker than the tunnel above, but warm, not cold. A soft voice whispered, "Please, help me remember." Finn stood up with steady resolve. "We'll go." Jake wobbled, torn between fear and loyalty. "Finn, are you sure this is safe? Like, safe? Or Adventure Time safe? Which is not safe at all?" Finn placed a hand on Jake's head. "It trusted us. We should trust it back." Jake sighed and stretched into a brave little puffball. "Okay. But if a worm monster pops out, I'm screaming." Finn smiled. They stepped toward the deeper passage. The opening seemed to breathe, a soft, warm breeze drifting outward like an exhale. The heart tree whispered, one last time before they went deeper, "Go gently, and together, for below lies the truth I have forgotten. And the memory I desperately need." Finn took a deep breath. Jake clung close. And together, they stepped into the deeper darkness toward a memory lost, a truth buried, and a secret that waited beneath the roots of a lonely forest that had been whispering through time. The deeper passage welcomed Finn and Jake with a warm breath of air, almost like a sigh that had been held in for centuries. The walls curved inward around them, narrowing just enough that Finn had to duck slightly. Jake shrank into a small, round, pup-like version of himself, hopping up to rest on Finn's shoulder for comfort. The glow they'd followed earlier had faded, leaving only a faint, shimmering thread that ran along the ground, like a trail of moonlight woven through the soil. It wasn't bright, but it was enough to guide them through the dark without ever feeling lost. Finn whispered, "Jake, you still okay?" Jake wrapped his little dog arms around Finn's neck. "I'm trying to be brave. This place feels like a lullaby that forgot it was supposed to be soothing." Finn smiled softly at that. "I think it just wants to be understood." The air grew cooler as they walked, but never cold. More like the coolness of a peaceful riverbank at night. Earthy scents drifted around them. Moss, damp bark, a hint of something sweet and old, like the dust of forgotten stories. As they walked deeper, a low, distant hum rose from below. It wasn't the heartbeat they heard earlier. This sound was lighter, higher, almost like a single note from a wooden flute drifting through the dark. Jake perked up. "Okay, Finn. Did you bring a flute? Because that's the exact sound a mystical forest memory flute would make." Finn shook his head. "No flute. That's coming from down there." They followed the glowing thread until the passage widened suddenly into a grand cavern. The cavern was breathtaking. The ceiling arched so high above them it disappeared into darkness. But the walls were covered in roots, hundreds of them, dangling like strands of glowing silk. Each root pulsed with soft light, some golden, some lavender, some a gentle jade green. Together they shimmered like a field of stars that had been transplanted underground. Jake whispered, "Bro, it's like the inside of a giant nightlight." Finn nodded, eyes wide. "It's beautiful." The humming note continued, drifting from the center of the cavern where a single root, thicker than all the others, curved downward into a stone pedestal. The pedestal was cracked, worn with age, but in its center lay something small, a round gemstone, smooth as river glass, glowing faintly with pale blue light. Finn approached slowly. "Is that a lost memory. Jake hopped down and patted closer. Looks like, yeah. Or it could be a cursed gemstone that steals your soul. I'm just putting all options on the table. Finn gave him a look, half amused, half exhausted. Jake, the forest asked us to help it remember, not curse us. Jake shrugged. Yeah, but you know how things go in our life. Every nice thing has at least one spooky twist. Finn knelt before the pedestal, hands resting gently on the stone. As he leaned closer, the gemstone pulsed with a warm glow, responding to his presence. Then the hum stopped. Silence filled the cavern, soft, thick, expectant. Jake looked around. Buddy? Why did it stop humming? That was the only sound that made me feel like we weren't alone down here. A whisper drifted from the walls, carrying a tone they hadn't heard before. It wasn't sad. It wasn't afraid. It was hopeful. Touch it, and I will remember. Finn hesitated, only for a moment, then placed his hand gently on the gemstone. Warmth flooded through his fingertips, pleasant warmth, like sinking into a cozy blanket after a cold day. The cavern brightened as the roots glowed in harmony, responding to the memory awakening. Jake backed up slightly, but stayed close. Okay, this is happening. This is really happening. The gemstone pulsed again, once, twice, and then the memory unfurled. Not in mist, not in visions on the walls, but inside the cavern itself. The air shimmered, like heat rising off a summer road, and slowly, softly, shapes appeared, transparent at first, then gently solidifying. A group of travelers sat in a circle beneath the heart tree, long before the Land of Ooo existed as it does now. Their clothing was simple, their faces tired but smiling. Children leaned against their parents, wrapped in cloaks. A soft fire crackled between them, though Finn and Jake could not feel its heat. Finn whispered, "It's a memory from when people visited the forest, from before it was lonely." Jake's voice was hushed. "They look really happy." One of the figures, a tall woman with gentle eyes, rose and approached the heart tree in the memory. She placed her hand on the bark and whispered something Finn and Jake couldn't fully hear. But the forest whispered it for them, overlaying the memory like a soft echo. "I promise, as long as I stand, your stories will live here. Your laughter will echo. Your fears will be softened, and you will never be forgotten." Finn felt a lump in his throat. Jake sniffled, embarrassed. The memory continued. The travelers sang songs, shared food, told stories of distant lands. Children fell asleep on their parents' laps. Someone played a flute, the same gentle tone Finn and Jake had heard earlier. But slowly, the shapes wavered. The woman stepped forward again, touching the tree with sorrow in her eyes. Around her, the travelers looked weary, scared, glancing towards something in the distance neither Finn nor Jake could see. The forest whispered again. Then came the night, the one I have tried to forget. The memory flickered. The travelers packed their belongings quickly. The fire extinguished. The children were lifted into arms. Hushed voices spoke urgently, though Finn and Jake couldn't hear the words. Jake's paws shot to his mouth. Oh no, they left. Something made them leave. Finn nodded slowly. They had to. Something scared them or called them away. The woman touched the heart tree one last time. A tear sparkled on her cheek. And then the memory dissolved completely, leaving only the cavern's soft, glowing stillness behind. Finn whispered, "So that's what you forgot. Not just a memory, but why the voices went silent. The forest's whisper drifted through the roots, trembling with sadness and relief. They fled. Not from me, but from something else. Something that walked the night. Something I could not protect them from. Jake shivered. Finn, what walked the night? The cavern darkened slightly. Not threatening, just solemn. The whisper grew softer as though speaking through centuries of dust. The thing that took their shadows and stole their sleep and turned their dreams cold. Finn stood steady and calm despite the words. We'll help you. Tell us what you need. The gemstone glowed brighter, then cracked gently, not breaking, but opening like a seed pod. Inside was a faint, swirling mist, soft and pale, like the breath of a sleeping child. Take the memory above. Place it beneath my heart. Let me feel it again. Let me remember Folly, so I may finally rest. Finn nodded. We'll take it to the heart tree. Jake stepped closer, courage returning. And then what? Will you stop whispering? The response came gently. No, I will whisper still. But with peace, not loneliness. Finn carefully lifted the glowing mist cupped inside the cracked gemstone. It felt weightless, warm, and somehow hopeful. Jake leaned close, keeping his small form pressed tightly to Finn for comfort. Let's bring it home, Bo. Finn turned toward the tunnel leading back upward, carrying the memory like a fragile light. Behind them, the cavern dimmed slowly, as though sighing with relief. And the forest whispered, almost like a lullaby. Hurry, children of the surface. For night deepens, and the shadow that stole their dreams stirs once more. Finn took a breath. Jake clung tighter, and together they began the ascent toward the heart tree, toward the truth, and toward the final revelation of what haunted the Whispering Woods so long ago. Finn held the warm, swirling memory close as he and Jake began their ascent back toward the heart tree. The upward tunnel felt different now, still dim, but more awake, like the earth itself knew the lost memory was being carried home at last. The roots along the walls brightened softly as they passed, lighting their way like lanterns placed lovingly into the dark. Jake, still in his tiny pup-sized form, spoke into Finn's ear. Buddy, what do you think the forest meant? About the shadow waking up? Finn kept his pace steady. I'm not sure. But whatever it is, it's been down here a long time. And it probably doesn't have much strength left. We'll stay calm. Jake wrapped his tiny paws around Finn's collar. Staying calm is my middle name, except when I'm scared, hungry, tired, happy, or surprised. Finn smiled faintly. That's most of the time, Jake. Yeah, Jake whispered. But right now, I'm mostly just here with you. The tunnel led them back into the chamber beneath the roots, the warm little nest-like space where they'd first heard the forest stories. The glowing mound pulsed gently as they approached, like a heartbeat sensing something precious returning. Finn stepped closer, lifting the memory mist cupped in his hands. We brought it back, he whispered. It's time for you to remember. The root mound shivered with anticipation. A soft hum rose from the walls, warm, grateful. But before Finn could place the memory into the roots, the air shifted. A faint, cold ripple drifted across the chamber, like the breath of someone standing behind them. Jake stiffened instantly. Finn, that wasn't the forest. The glow dimmed. The mound's warm pulse faltered, and a shape uncoiled in the far corner of the chamber. A shadow. Thin at first, just a smudge of deeper darkness against the wall. Then it lengthened, rising like smoke taking form. Not a monster, not a beast, not something snarling or clawed, just a figure. A delicate outline of someone who no longer fully existed. A silhouette, made of tired dark. Jake whispered, voice trembling. That's the thing that made everyone leave. Finn didn't step back. Instead, he lowered the memory slightly, keeping his body loose and calm. The shadow did not move closer. It simply stood there, swaying gently, as though held up by the faintest breeze. A whisper drifted from it, thin and brittle. Warmth. I remember warmth. Finn blinked. What are you? The shadow tilted its head, as though the question hurt to hear. I was left behind when the travelers fled. Their fear, their running, their silence tore me from them. Jake swallowed. So, you're like their leftover fear, or their sadness, or both? The shadows shimmered weakly. I followed them, but they did not look back, and I faded, alone. Finn's heartbeat softened. It wasn't dangerous. It wasn't evil. It was lonely, just like the forest. Finn stepped forward a little, slow, gentle. You scared them without trying, didn't you? The shadow quivered, shrinking in on itself. I did. I never meant to. I only wanted to stay with them, to be held in their stories, to be part of their nights. The roots around the chamber shifted, glowing with recognition. The forest whispered, I remember now. You were their shadow of dreams, their nighttime guide, gentle, loyal, but when fear came, they left you, and you filled with sorrow, until you forgot your light. The shadow curled inward. I did not want to forget. Finn stepped even closer, lifting the memory in his hands. You don't have to forget anymore. You don't have to be alone. Jake, mustering courage, hopped onto Finn's shoulder again. Yeah, you just need a shadow snuggle or something. The shadow let out a soft, wavering sound. Not quite laughter, not quite a sob. Finn knelt before the root mound. Forest, he said gently, this memory belongs to you, but maybe it belongs to them too. The roots responded instantly, opening a space in the center of the mound, warm, pulsing with welcome. Finn placed the memory mist into the opening. The chamber filled with light. Soft, gentle light, like dawn rising over a sleeping valley. The shadow recoiled at first, curling into itself. But the light wasn't harsh. It wasn't burning. It was warm, inviting. The forest whispered, stronger now. Come home, forgotten one. Let your stories return, and let your darkness rest in the light. The shadow hesitated, and then slowly stepped forward. Finn held his breath. Jake hugged Finn's head like a helmet. The light reached the shadow's edge. The darkness quivered, then softened. The shadow stretched out a trembling hand-like shape and touched the glow. A sigh echoed through the chamber, relief older than time. The shadow dissolved into shimmering dust, drifting into the roots, merging with the memory. Not disappearing, but becoming whole again. Jake whispered, Finn, I think we just healed a shadow. Finn nodded, eyes warm. It wasn't bad. It was lonely. The heart tree's voice filled the chamber, clear, steady, peaceful at last. Thank you, children of courage. You have quieted the sorrow that haunted my roots and returned the dream that was taken from me. The entire forest seemed to exhale. The roots brightened, glowing like sleeping lanterns. The whispers softened into a gentle hum. Not eerie, not sad, just calm. The forest spoke again like a lullaby carried on warm wind. Rest now, for you have brought me peace, and I will watch over your dreams as I once watched over theirs. Finn leaned back, letting the warmth wash over him. Jake yawned hugely. Bro, I feel I'm insanely sleepy all of a sudden. Finn's eyes drooped too. It's okay. The forest is just calming us. The ground beneath them softened into moss. The glow dimmed to a soft midnight blue. Jake curled up beside Finn, stretching into a warm blanket around him. The forest whispered one last time. Sleep, children, for the woods whisper no fear tonight, only gratitude and gentle dreams. Finn closed his eyes. Jake nestled close. And beneath the ancient roots of a once lonely forest, they drifted into the safest sleep they had ever known, held by the heart tree, watched over by the mended shadow, and carried softly into dreams by a whisper that finally, in the quiet evening of the tree fort, Finn and Jake were finishing their usual bedtime routine. The sky outside was deep blue, sprinkled with twinkling stars that blinked slowly, lazily, like they were already nodding off. Inside, Finn's bed was cozy. Jake stretched across the floor, already half asleep, and the soft flicker of candlelight danced across the walls. Finn yawned. Bedtime stories, Jake? He whispered. Jake mumbled from the floor, one eye open. Yeah. As long as it's something that won't scare me, please. Just then, a faint, gentle sound floated through the air. Not a rattle, not a creak. A soft whoosh, like a feather brushing across the room. Finn tilted his head. Did you hear that? Jake stretched, forming a cozy little circle with his arms. Probably just wind or a polite ghost. Finn's eyes twinkled with curiosity. Polite ghost? Before Jake could answer, the air shimmered beside the bookshelf. A soft, pearly white glow appeared. Slowly, a small, translucent figure floated into the room. Its edges wavered like mist, and its face, though vague, looked very friendly. It had round, curious eyes, and a little smile that made it feel warm, not spooky. Finn whispered, "Whoa, Jake." A ghost. Jake sat up slowly, his stretchy form trembling with a mix of excitement and nervousness. "Finn, calm down. Maybe it's friendly." The ghost drifted closer, circling the bed with gentle swoops. It made a faint woo sound, like it was trying to speak without startling anyone. Finn leaned forward. "Hi, are you nice?" The ghost bobbed up and down, then floated closer to Finn, tilting its head as if nodding. Another soft whisper emerged. "Stories." Jake blinked. "Stories? Oh, you missed. Story time?" The ghost shimmered happily, spinning in a little circle. It looked as if it were bouncing with excitement. Finn grinned. "Well then, you're in luck. Tonight we can tell stories together." The ghost floated down beside Finn and Jake's bed. Its form wobbled like a cloud hugging the floor. Every time it moved, it seemed to stir the candlelight, making tiny, playful sparks of glow dance on the walls. Finn grabbed his storybook and opened it carefully. "All right. What kind of story do you want? Adventure? Mystery? Something cozy?" The ghost bobbed slightly toward Finn's hand and made a soft swirling motion. Finn tilted his head. "Cozy, huh? Okay. Cozy it is." Finn began reading softly. Once upon a time, in a quiet corner of the Land of Ooo, a small hidden village existed, where even the tiniest creatures had stories worth telling. Some were funny, some were magical, some were just warm, like a hug from the inside. The ghost floated closer, its eyes wide with fascination. Every so often, it drifted over the illustrations in the book, hovering in awe at the drawings. It seemed to smile, though faintly, a little puff of white mist shimmering like a breath of delight. Jake yawned, stretching beside Finn. This is actually really nice. The ghost, sensing approval, wiggled happily in the air and made a soft woo sound, almost like clapping. As Finn read, the room seemed to change. The candlelight grew warmer, cozier. The shadows on the wall formed gentle shapes, bunnies hopping, clouds drifting, little trees swaying. The ghost floated through these soft shapes, tracing them with its hand, leaving tiny sparkles behind. Finn's voice slowed, soft and hypnotic, like a lullaby. And so, every evening, the tiny village shared their stories with whoever came by, filling the air with warmth and laughter, and the magic of friendship. The ghost floated closer to Finn, nudging him gently as if asking for another story. Finn chuckled. Of course, we have plenty more. Jake, now fully relaxed, closed his eyes. You really like stories, don't you? He whispered to the ghost. The ghost bobbed up and down with joy, then circled the bed slowly, leaving faint trails of glowing mist that seemed to curl into letters forming words no one could read, but somehow everyone understood. Finn's voice continued softly. And sometimes a wandering spirit might miss story time, but if it listens carefully, it can still feel the warmth of stories shared, even long after the sun has gone to sleep. The ghost floated closer to Jake's side, nudging him softly, like a tiny reminder that everyone, even ghosts, can find comfort in a story. Jake murmured, "You're a good ghost." The ghost's glow brightened for a moment in delight, spinning in tiny loops as if laughing softly. Finn yawned, closing the book gently. "Okay, little ghost. It's almost time for bed. But don't worry. We can read more stories tomorrow. You'll never miss story time again." The ghost drifted up toward the ceiling, swirling around like a playful ribbon of light. Then it hovered beside the bed, leaning close to Finn and Jake as if to say, "Thank you for the stories." Finn smiled sleepily. "Sweet dreams, little friend." Jake curled up beside Finn, letting the warm glow of the ghost fill the room. The candlelight flickered gently, the soft shadows danced, and outside the window, the stars twinkled slowly, almost as if they too were listening to the stories. The ghost floated closer to Finn and rested near Jake, shimmering faintly as a gentle lullaby filled the room. And so, in the quiet of the tree fort, with a friendly ghost who loved story time and two heroes wrapped in blankets, the room became a soft haven. Stories whispered, light danced, and every heartbeat felt warm. Even the ghost, once lonely and missing story time, felt safe. And all three of them drifted toward sleep, dreaming of tales, gentle adventures, and the soft magic of friendship. The candlelight flickered softly, sending shadows across the walls, and the ghost floated beside Finn and Jake, glowing faintly like a tiny moon. Its soft light seemed to hum like a gentle lullaby vibrating through the quiet room. Finn yawned again, curling further under his blanket. "Jake, I think our little ghost friend wants us to tell us something tonight." Jake blinked sleepily, stretching one paw lazily toward the glow. "Tell us? You mean, like, it talks too?" The ghost bobbed excitedly in the air, its glow flickering in tiny bursts, and floated closer to Finn's ear. A soft whisper drifted from it. I miss stories. Long ago, and I never had a friend to read to me. Finn smiled gently, stroking his chin. Well, you've got us now. We can read to you, and maybe you can tell us your story, too. The ghost floated higher, spinning slowly, and the faint mist that formed its body swirled into a small spiral. It seemed shy but hopeful. Finn's voice softened as he spoke. Start whenever you're ready. We'll listen. No, a breeze rustled in the room. Not a cold wind, but a warm, comforting one that made the little glow around the ghost shimmer more brightly. The ghost began to whisper, in a voice almost like the wind over soft grass. Long ago, I floated in a quiet place, a library filled with bedtime stories. Every night, I listened. I wanted to join, but I was too shy. I drifted in the corners, unseen. I watched children read to each other, laughed at the funny parts, cried at the sad parts, and I had no one to share stories with. Jake's ears drooped slightly. Poor little ghost. Finn reached over, gently touching the ghost's misty form. You're not alone anymore. We're here. You can tell us as much as you want. The ghost swirled with soft excitement, glowing brighter. Its whisper grew more confident. I once tried to whisper to the children, to tell them about the adventures I had seen, but they couldn't hear me. And I drifted away, carrying all the stories I missed, floating silently, alone. Finn's eyes softened. That sounds really sad, but you don't have to be alone tonight. Jake nodded, curling closer to Finn. Yeah, and maybe tonight we can make new stories together. The ghost seemed to brighten further at that, drifting slowly around the room like a ribbon of soft moonlight. Then it floated down beside Finn and Jake, settling near the edge of the bed. Finn picked up another book from the shelf, opening it gently. This one's about quiet adventures in the clouds, perfect for a sleepy ghost. The ghost leaned in closer, mist curling around the pages as if eager to see every illustration. Finn began reading softly. In the land above the clouds, tiny creatures floated on soft breezes, exploring hidden nooks and discovering secrets in the drifting sky. Oh, Jake yawned but stayed awake, listening. The ghost hovered over the pages, brightening each illustration with a soft glow that made the clouds shimmer like silver and gold. As Finn read, the ghost twirled slowly, leaving faint traces of sparkling mist in the air. Those sparkles drifted across the room, forming shapes of little animals and clouds, dancing along the walls and ceiling. Finn's voice slowed, warm and gentle. The tiny adventurers discovered that friendship was the greatest treasure of all. And they learned that even when they felt invisible, someone somewhere would always notice their heart. The ghost floated close, wrapping a small swirl of its mist around Finn's hand. It made a soft, happy hum. Finn smiled, squeezing its misty form gently. Jake whispered, almost drowsily, "You know, you might just be the friend it's been waiting for." The ghost shivered with delight, spinning in tiny loops and leaving a trail of glittering mists behind. Finn's eyes softened as he continued reading. And so every night, the adventurers would gather under the glowing clouds, sharing tales of joy, laughter, and gentle wonders. And even those who had missed story time before finally found a place to rest, to dream, and to feel safe. The ghost drifted closer to Jake, nudging him softly. leaving tiny trails of shimmering light across his fur. Jake yawned again, curling into a cozy little ball. "It's really nice, being part of a story," he murmured. Finn smiled and gently closed the book. "See? You're part of a story now, and you'll be part of many more." The ghost hovered in a soft, happy spiral above them, shimmering brighter than before. It floated gently around the bed, whispering tiny, happy bursts of sound like, "Thank you, thank you. I'm not alone. I can rest. I can listen." The room grew quieter. The candlelight flickered softly, the walls glowed faintly from the ghost mist, and outside the stars blinked slowly, as if they too were listening. Finn yawned, closing his eyes high. "Good night, little friend. Sweet dreams." Jake curled closer, letting the ghost's glow wash over him, whispering, "Sleep well, story ghost." And so, in the cozy tree fort, with a gentle ghost who had finally found a friend for bedtime stories, Finn and Jake drifted into sleep. The ghost floated nearby, humming softly, carrying the warmth of shared tales and quiet adventures, wrapping the room in gentle magic, safe for dreaming. The candle flickered, the shadows danced slowly, and every heartbeat felt calm and warm. The ghost, once lonely and unseen, now felt part of a story. The tree fort was quiet, but the gentle glow of the ghost filled the room with soft light, curling around Finn and Jake like a ribbon of moonlight. The candle had burned low, flickering slowly, and shadows moved lazily along the walls, forming cozy shapes. Tiny animals, clouds, and soft hills that seemed to sway with the rhythm of the night. Finn yawned, stretching, his eyes half closed. "Jake, I think our story ghost has more to show us tonight." Jake curled into a sleepy ball, peeked one eye open. "You mean like a ghost-led adventure?" The ghost swirled happily, spinning in little loops above the bed, leaving tiny trails of sparkling mist behind. It floated toward the window and hovered, beckoning with a gentle, flowing motion. Finn smiled softly. Okay, let's follow you." The two friends crept to the window. The night outside was calm, the moon hanging low, casting silver light over the Land of Ooo. The ghost drifted into the air, leading the way with a soft glow that illuminated the rooftop. Finn climbed out carefully, Jake stretching his body to follow, both of them quiet as shadows of themselves in the night. The ghost floated ahead, guiding them over the sloping treetops. The wind was warm and soft, rustling leaves like tiny whispers. Every step Finn and Jake took seemed to carry them into a world where time moved slower, where the moonlight was thick and cozy, and every sound felt gentle rather than startling. Jake whispered, "Finn, I feel like we're walking in a dream." Finn nodded, eyes wide with wonder. "I think we are. And our little ghost friend wants to share it with us." The ghost led them through a sleepy clearing in the forest. Fireflies floated lazily above the grass, blinking in rhythm like tiny stars mirroring the sky. The ghost floated closer to the tallest firefly, who flickered back as if recognizing a kindred spirit. Finn and Jake stopped to watch, their breaths slow, hearts calm. The ghost swirled and made a soft woo sound, pointing toward a gentle stream nearby. The water glimmered silver under the moonlight. Smooth stones created stepping paths across the stream, reflecting the glow of the ghost and the stars above. Finn smiled. "Wow, it's beautiful." Jake stepped carefully across the stones, feeling the cool night air and the soft hum of the stream. "Yeah, like a story come to life, but quiet and sleepy and perfect for bedtime. The ghost floated down to the last stone, bobbing gently and humming softly. It seemed to invite Finn and Jake to sit. The two friends settled beside the stream, legs dangling over the edge, and watched the water ripple in slow, peaceful circles. The ghost circled above, its glow pulsating with a rhythm that matched the gentle sound of the stream. Then it drifted closer, hovering near Finn's face and whispering, "Stories are everywhere, even in quiet nights, even in places where no one is listening, even in the silence. They exist, waiting." Finn nodded slowly, his eyelids heavy. "I get it. And that's why you love story time. You want to hear them all, even the quiet ones," Jake added softly. "And now, you got us." The ghost twirled happily, leaving sparkles drifting down like snow. Its tiny, joyful sound echoed in the night, blending with the gentle babbling of the stream. Finn leaned back on his hands, gazing at the moon's reflection in the water. "I think we can make stories together tonight. Stories about gentle adventures, about friendship, about small, quiet magic." The ghost bobbed in agreement, spinning slowly. The fireflies nearby seemed to flicker brighter, as if joining the celebration. Jake yawned and curled further into himself. Yeah. And the best part is, we don't have to rush. We can just let the night be soft and slow. The ghost drifted above them, circling in lazy loops, and a soft mist spread across the grass, carrying the faint scent of old books and sweet berries. The air was warm, safe, and calm. Finn and Jake felt their hearts slow with every gentle breeze and shimmer of light. Finn began to speak softly, almost to himself. Once upon a time, there were two heroes and a ghost who missed story time. But one night, under a calm moon and a sleepy sky, they discovered that friendship and stories could fill even the quietest corners of the world. The ghost floated closer to Jake, resting a tiny wisp of itself on his head, and Jake whispered sleepily, "I like being part of this story, even if I'm half asleep." Finn chuckled quietly. Me too. Above them, the moon hung silently in the sky, casting soft light over the stream and the sleepy forest. The ghost hovered in the gentle glow, sparkling trails wrapping around Finn and Jake, forming shapes of clouds, animals, and little stars. The sound of the stream, the whisper of the ghost, and the soft rustle of night leaves blended into a perfect lullaby. Finn yawned again, closing his eyes slowly. Jake nestled closer, letting the ghost's glow wash over them. The ghost floated in a soft spiral above them, humming tiny notes of joy, contentment, and the warm magic of friendship. And as the night deepened, all three of them, Finn, Jake, and the friendly story ghost, drifted into a peaceful sleep under the moonlit sky, safe, warm, and full of gentle stories waiting to be told. The stream rippled slowly. Fireflies blinked lazily. The ghost's glow softened, wrapping the friends in a bubble of quiet, sleepy light. And the Land of Ooo seemed to sigh softly, carrying them further into dreams of adventure, warmth, and the magic of stories shared in the night. The ghost floated slowly ahead of Finn and Jake, its soft light guiding them through the quiet forest. The moon was high now, casting silver beams that wove between the trees like gentle ribbons. Every leaf seemed to shimmer as they passed, as if the forest itself was listening and approving of their soft, careful footsteps. Jake yawned, curling his body into a small ball. "Finn, this is really nice. It's like a dream you don't want to wake up from." Finn nodded, smiling at the glow of their little friend. Yeah, it feels safe, like the world is holding us in a hug. The ghost led them down a winding path lined with glowing mushrooms, tiny lanterns hanging from delicate branches, and fireflies that twinkled like gentle stars fallen from the sky. The air smelled faintly of vanilla, warm earth, and soft rain, comforting every sense. "Whoa," Jake murmured, stretching one paw to touch the glowing mushrooms. They glimmered beneath his touch, leaving a faint sparkle in the air like magic dust. Finn laughed softly. "Careful, Jake. Those mushrooms are delicate, just like stories. They shine brightest when handled gently." The path widened into a small village, but it wasn't any ordinary village. Tiny houses shaped like teacups, books, and lanterns dotted the space. Chimneys puffed gentle clouds of sweet-smelling steam. Every window glowed softly, as if the buildings themselves were awake, but calm, listening for visitors. The ghost floated ahead, hovering over the main square, where little shadowy figures danced slowly in the lamplight. The figures weren't people. They were whispers of past story times, playful and warm, each one carrying a tiny, glowing book or lantern. Finn whispered, "Jake, I think this is the nighttime village of whispering stories." Jake's eyes widened. "No kidding. And it's so soft, like it doesn't want to wake anyone. It just wants to share calm adventures." The ghost circled them, twirling with joy. Then it floated to a small bridge made of glimmering wood and beckoned Finn and Jake to cross. The stream beneath the bridge rippled with glowing water, reflecting tiny stars from the sky above. Finn stepped carefully onto the bridge, Jake following. They noticed the water was calm and gentle, like a mirror that didn't move too fast. As they crossed, the ghost hovered beside them, whispering softly. Every story, every memory, every small, forgotten laugh. They live here, in the gentle night, waiting to be shared. Finn smiled at the words, voice soft. It's like every story that was ever told, even the quiet ones, has a place here. Jake stretched his arms, feeling the cool night air and the warm glow of the ghost. And every lost story, like the one you missed, has a chance to come alive again. The ghost spun around happily and floated to a tiny house shaped like an open book. The doors swung open silently, revealing shelves stacked with glowing books. Each one hummed softly, holding stories of laughter, friendship, and quiet adventures. The ghost hovered over one particular book, a little brighter than the rest, and gestured for Finn and Jake to approach. Finn bent down, opening the book gently. The pages were blank, but as he touched them, words began to appear, glowing softly in the air. This is a story for those who once missed story time. A story for the gentle hearts who love adventures in soft light. A story about a friendly ghost who found friends. Jake leaned closer, whispering, "It's writing itself for us, for our ghost friend." The ghost floated above the book, its light pulsing like a heartbeat. Each pulse sent ripples through the village, making the tiny lanterns sway and the shadowy figures twirl gently. The air hummed softly, carrying the scent of warm tea and vanilla cookies. Finn read the glowing words aloud, and so, under a sleepy moon and the quiet stars, the ghost who once missed story time discovered that friendship and stories are never lost. They just wait quietly for someone to notice, for someone to care, for someone to listen. The ghost twirled happily, leaving sparkling trails across the air. Its little glow brightened, like a tiny sun shining in the calm night. Finn closed the book, smiling gently. See, you belong here. You found your story now. Jake yawned, curling closer. And the best part, we get to be part of it too. The ghost floated above them, leaning down slightly, letting its warmth wash over Finn and Jake. It hummed softly, a melody of joy and comfort. The villagers' lights blinked gently, responding in a quiet chorus, and the stream shimmered, reflecting the calm magic of the night. Finn whispered, "Now let's walk through the village slowly, see all the stories, listen to the quiet ones." And so they wandered through the streets, each step soft, careful, like tiptoeing through dreams. The ghost led them from house to house, showing glowing books, tiny shadow figures, and gentle lamplights. Every corner of the village held small wonders, stories that made them giggle, tales that made them sigh, and whispers of adventures that felt familiar, like visiting an old friend. Jake pressed his nose against the glow of one tiny house. "Finn, it smells like cinnamon and soft blankets in there. I think it's even better than story time." Finn chuckled softly, nodding. "And the best part? We get to enjoy it together. Ghost and friends, sharing adventures without ever hurrying, without ever being scared." The ghost floated above them, leaving a trail of shimmering light that wrapped around Finn and Jake like a blanket of magic. The stars above seemed to blink slowly in agreement, and the village itself seemed to exhale softly, as if content with the company of gentle friends. The night continued softly, each step, each story, each shimmer of light, feeling like a lullaby. Finn, Jake, and the friendly ghost walked slowly, letting the magic of the night carry them further into dreams, closer to peaceful sleep, and deeper into the quiet joy of stories shared under a sleepy moon. And as they wandered, the ghost whispered softly, "No one ever misses story time. Not really. When hearts are open, stories find their way." Finn yawned, Jake curled closer, and the ghost glimmered warmly above them. The village of whispering stories wrapped them in soft, gentle magic, carrying them towards sleep and sweet dreams filled with adventures, friendship, and the glow of calm. The friendly ghost floated ahead, its soft glow guiding Finn and Jake along a winding path through the nighttime village. The moonlight shimmered over the rooftop, shaped like teacups and lanterns, casting silver shadows that moved lazily with the gentle breeze. Every step Finn and Jake took felt like walking through a dream where the world was quiet, safe, and filled with small, glowing wonders. Jake yawned, curling his long body into a soft spiral. "Finn, I feel like we're walking through someone's cozy imagination." Finn nodded, keeping pace with the ghost. "Yeah, it's like the night itself is a storybook, and we're part of the story." The ghost led them toward the far edge of the village, where a tall, elegant building rose among the other tiny houses. Its walls were made of glowing glass, and the roof shimmered faintly as if made of starlight. The sign above the door read in delicate, glowing letters, "The Secret Library of Sleepy Tales." The ghost floated to the door, hovering and spinning gently. Then it made a soft, inviting hum, encouraging Finn and Jake to step inside. Finn opened the door carefully, and a warm, golden light spilled into the night. Inside, the library was vast, far larger than it seemed from the outside. Shelves stretched high above their heads, stacked with glowing books of every shape and size. Some floated gently in the air, while others rested on shelves that seemed to stretch into infinity. Jake's eyes widened. "Whoa, Finn. Look at all these stories. It's like every bedtime story ever written." and a million more that we didn't even know existed. Finn smiled, stepping carefully inside. The ghosts floated ahead, circling between the shelves, leaving trails of shimmering mist that danced through the air like tiny fireflies. The library smelled faintly of old paper, vanilla, and a touch of night-blooming flowers. The air was warm and comforting, wrapping Finn and Jake in a sense of calm and wonder. The ghost floated toward a section of floating books that glimmered with pale blue light. It hovered near one book, spinning slowly and gently, nudging Finn with a soft brush of its mist. Finn bent down and opened the book. As he did, the pages filled with glowing words that shimmered softly in the air. The story began to write itself. In a quiet corner of the world where the moon shone silver and the stars twinkled lazily, a little ghost who had missed story time found friends who would listen. They wandered through a village made of gentle lights and soft laughter. Every step they took was a story. Every breath they breathed was a lullaby. Jake leaned closer, his paws resting on the glowing pages. This is us. It's like the story is telling itself while we live it. The ghost bobbed happily, spinning in little loops, leaving sparkling trails over the pages. It hovered near Jake, nudging him gently, and Jake smiled, letting the warmth of the glow wash over him. Finn continued reading softly, and in the secret library of sleepy tales, every forgotten story, every missed bedtime, every quiet wish and whisper found a home. Even the tiniest adventures, the softest dreams, and the gentlest magic had a place to grow and shine. The ghost floated to a higher shelf, pointing toward books that glowed faintly golden. Finn and Jake followed, stepping carefully across the polished floor that reflected the soft lights like ripples on calm water. Each book they touched filled the room with soft whispers of stories long forgotten, laughter carried from distant nights, and gentle memories of adventures that had never been told. The ghosts swirled into light, leaving trails of shimmering light that wove around Finn and Jake like a warm blanket. Jake whispered, "Finn, I think the ghost, this library, it's showing us that no story is ever truly lost. Even ones we missed, they're still here, waiting." Finn nodded, closing one glowing book carefully. "You're right. And now, we get to be part of them too. We get to share new stories with our ghost friend." The ghost floated down to the center of the library, spinning in little loops of joy. It made soft, happy sounds that mixed with the whispers of the books, creating a melody that felt like a lullaby sung by the night itself. Finn yawned, stretching. "Jake, I think we've wandered into the perfect bedtime story." Jake curled closer to Finn, letting the ghost's soft glow wrap around him. "Yeah, everything's so calm, so peaceful. I could stay here forever." The ghost hovered above them, leaving tiny, sparkling trails that floated lazily through the library, illuminating every corner. Shadows danced softly across the walls, forming shapes of animals, clouds, and gentle hills that seemed to move in rhythm with the stories. Finn whispered, "Okay, let's pick one more story before we rest. One that's really cozy." The ghost led them to a small, glowing book tucked into a corner shelf. When Finn opened it, the pages glowed softly, showing images of quiet meadows, calm streams, and tiny creatures curled up for sleep. The words shimmered gently in the air. And the little ghost, once lonely and unseen, finally found a friend who would listen. Together, they shared stories in the gentle glow of the night, and every whispered tale, every tiny adventure, every soft, sleepy secret wrapped the world in warmth. until all hearts, big and small, drifted into calm dreams. Jake yawned deeply, curling into a little ball. Finn, I think we're part of this story too, and it's perfect. Finn smiled, brushing his hand against the ghost mist. You're right, and now we can rest, knowing the night is filled with stories and friendship and gentle magic. The ghost floated above them, glowing softly, humming a quiet, happy melody. The library exhaled warmth. The floating books glimmered, and the moonlight spilled through the windows, wrapping the room in calm. Finn and Jake settled down, the ghost hovering nearby, leaving trails of soft light like a blanket of stars. The library itself seemed to sigh with contentment, carrying every whispered story, every gentle adventure, and every quiet dream into the night. And so, in the secret library of sleepy tales, with the friendly ghost who had once missed story time, Finn and Jake drifted into the deepest, most peaceful sleep. The stories glowed softly, the shadows danced gently, and the night whispered, "No tale is ever lost, no heart ever alone." And even the quietest ghost can find a friend. The first rays of silver moonlight reflected softly off the glowing bookshelves as the friendly ghost floated above Finn and Jake in the secret library of sleepy tales. Its soft glow pulsed gently, like a heartbeat, carrying warmth and the quiet magic of a night filled with shared stories. Finn yawned, stretching under the soft glow of the floating books. "Jake, I think it's time we head back home. Our little ghost friend has had enough adventures for tonight." Jake curled into a sleepy ball, snuggling closer to Finn. "Yeah, the night has been amazing, so peaceful, like a dream we didn't want to wake from." The ghost floated toward the exit, spinning slowly, leaving a trail of sparkling mist that seemed to settle in the air like starlight. Finn and Jake followed, stepping carefully across the soft wooden floor that reflected the warm glow of the books. Outside, the nighttime village of whispering stories was quiet and calm. The glowing lanterns swayed gently in the breeze, and the shadowy figures of past story times danced lazily in the silver light. The ghost floated in front of Finn and Jake, guiding them along the winding path back toward the forest, toward the tree fort. Jake whispered, "Finn, I feel like the forest itself is saying goodbye, but in a happy way, not a sad way." Finn nodded, smiling softly. "Yeah, it's like it's thanking us for visiting and letting the stories live again." As they walked, the ghost hovered close, brushing against their shoulders gently, leaving trails of light that shimmered in the dark. The soft hum of the ghost blended with the gentle rustle of leaves, the distant murmur of a sleepy stream, and the occasional twinkle of fireflies hovering lazily along the path. Finn glanced down at the ghost. "You know, you don't have to float around all night anymore. You can rest too, here, with us." The ghost bobbed happily, spinning in a slow circle, leaving shimmering trails of light that danced like tiny stars around them. It seemed to hum a soft, contented sound, like a lullaby that only the night could sing. The path through the forest felt softer, cozier. The glowing mushrooms blinked slowly as if saying goodbye. The fireflies twinkled faintly, guiding them gently toward the tree fort. Every step Finn and Jake took felt calm, comforting, and safe. Finn yawned, brushing a hand over Jake's fur. "Almost home, buddy. Almost home." The ghost hovered just above the tree fort's roof, its glow spilling into the cozy interior. Finn and Jake climbed back inside carefully, feeling the warmth of home envelop them like a soft blanket. The candlelight flickered softly, casting gentle shadows across the walls. The ghost floated down beside the bed, curling slightly into a small spiral of light. Finn lay down under the blanket, Jake curling beside him, and the ghost settled nearby, glowing softly, like a tiny, gentle moon. Finn whispered softly, "Good night, little friend. You found your story tonight, and so have we." Jake murmured, half asleep, "Sleep tight, story ghost. Thanks for the adventures." The ghost drifted slowly, making tiny circles in the air, leaving trails of sparkling light that wrapped around Finn and Jake like a gentle hug. It hummed softly, a warm, happy melody that seemed to echo through the room and into the hearts of the two friends. Finn closed his eyes, letting the soft light and gentle warmth fill him. Stories, friendship, and quiet magic. That's what tonight was about. Jake snuggled closer, letting the glow of the ghost wash over him. Yeah, it's a perfect ending for a perfect night. The candle flickered one last time, casting soft shadows of clouds and animals across the walls. The ghost hovered nearby, leaving a trail of sparkling light that formed tiny shapes of stars, clouds, and floating books. It hummed softly, a lullaby that wrapped the entire tree fort in warmth, calm, and quiet joy. Outside, the moon hung silently in the sky, bathing the Land of Ooo in silver light. The nighttime village, the secret library, and every quiet corner of the forest seemed to sigh with contentment, carrying the stories and adventures safely into dreams. Finn and Jake, wrapped in blankets and the gentle glow of their new friend, drifted deeper into sleep. The ghost hovered above them, pulsing softly, carrying the magic of friendship, stories, and shared adventures. And in the peaceful tree fort, with shadows dancing gently on the walls, with candlelight flickering, and with a friendly ghost, finally part of the bedtime stories, all three hearts, Finn, Jake, and the ghost, slipped into the deepest, most comforting sleep. The night whispered softly, carrying tales of laughter, gentle adventures, and sleepy magic into the dream-filled skies. No one ever truly misses story time. No heart is left alone, and even the smallest, shyest ghost can find friends, warmth, and stories to hold forever. And as the stars twinkled slowly, as the moon smiled down, and as the gentle hush of night wrapped around the tree fort, the world held its breath, soft, peaceful, and filled with sleepy magic. Until all three, Finn, Jake, and the friendly ghost, dreamed the sweetest dreams ever imagined. The tree fort was quiet. The stars twinkled lazily in the dark sky, their soft silver light spilling across the Land of Ooo. Finn and Jake were curled up in their beds, blankets pulled close, feeling the gentle rhythm of the night around them. Finn yawned, stretching his arms. "Jake, I can't sleep tonight. Something feels different out there." Jake peeked one eye open, his long body stretched across the floor. "Different? Outdoor different?" Finn whispered, his voice soft. "I don't know. I just feel like there's someone or something wandering outside, but not in a scary way, more like lonely." Just then a faint glow shimmered through the window. It wasn't the moon or star, but something softer, warmer, and pulsing slowly. Jake sat up slowly. Finn, do you see that?" Finn nodded. "Yeah, it's coming from the forest." The two friends quietly climbed out of bed and tiptoed to the window. There, in the shadowy forest, a strange figure moved gracefully. At first it looked big and a little scary, tall, with long dark limbs that swayed in the night wind. But at its chest, a gentle, warm light glowed, soft and steady, casting a comforting aura across the trees. Finn whispered, "Well, it's kind of scary, but kind of nice too." Jake nodded slowly. "Yeah, like a shadow that wants to be friends." The glow pulsed rhythmically, almost like a heartbeat. The creature moved silently, guiding its light along the forest path. It stopped for a moment as if sensing Finn and Jake watching, and then looked directly at them. Its eyes, though dark, held no malice, only curiosity and a hint of longing. Finn whispered, "I think it's lost. Maybe it's trying to find its way home." Jake tilted his head, watching the warm glow at the creature's chest. "Yeah, I bet that heart of light can guide it, and maybe even guide us too." The friendly ghost from the previous adventure would have approved. They both sensed that this was a gentle creature, one who only wanted to help. Finn smiled, tugging Jake gently toward the door. "Let's follow it. Carefully. Quietly. It might show us something amazing." The night air was cool and soft as Finn and Jake stepped outside, the grass brushing their feet. The creature stood at the edge of the forest, its glowing heart pulsing slowly. With each beat, the darkness around it seemed less intimidating, more like a soft, protective blanket. The creature tilted its head, noticing Finn and Jake. Its warm light seemed to grow brighter as if welcoming them. Jake whispered, "Finn, I think it wants us to come closer." Finn nodded, taking a slow step forward. "Hello, we're not scared. We can help if you need it." The creature's chest pulsed brighter, and a low, gentle hum filled the air. It slowly moved forward, showing a path through the trees. The light illuminated small flowers, tiny streams, and smooth rocks along the way, turning the forest into a safe, magical corridor of soft moonlight and gentle shadows. Jake stretched slightly, feeling the warmth from the glowing heart. "Whoa, this is cozy. Not scary at all. Like a bedtime adventure?" Finn smiled, following the glowing creature deeper into the forest. "Yeah, it's like it's inviting us to explore slowly, carefully, together." The path led to a small clearing where fireflies hovered lazily, blinking in rhythm with the creature's heart. The glow painted the grass in soft gold, creating shapes that danced gently with the night breeze. Finn whispered, "It's amazing. It's guiding us without saying a word, just warmth and light." The creature paused in the clearing, turning to face them. Its dark form seemed less intimidating now. The light at its heart glowed steadily, illuminating its gentle eyes. Finn and Jake realized it wasn't a monster at all. It was simply alone. Jake smiled softly. "Hey, little buddy, we're here. You're not alone anymore." The creature tilted its head, a faint hum vibrating from its chest. It moved slowly closer, showing that it trusted them. Its heart pulsed rhythmically, a comforting signal, a beacon of warmth in the quiet night. Finn sat down on the soft grass. "Come on, Jake. Let's see where it leads. Quietly, slowly, step by step." Jake nodded, curling up slightly to watch the glowing creature. "Yeah, I think it wants to show us something. Maybe a hidden part of the forest or maybe a hidden part of itself." The creature began to move forward again, Finn and Jake following, stepping softly along the illuminated path. The forest seemed to sigh with contentment as they passed, and the moonlight joined the gentle glow, weaving a blanket of calm across the clearing. Finn whispered, This, this is the kind of night you dream about. Mysterious, magical, but safe and warm. The creature's heart pulsed gently, showing the way through soft shadows. The trees formed a protective arch overhead, and the path ahead was dotted with glowing mushrooms, shimmering streams, and tiny creatures peeking quietly from the underbrush. Jake yawned, letting the calm night sink into him. Finn, I think this is the perfect sleepy adventure. The kind that fills you with warmth instead of fear. Finn nodded, watching the gentle pulses of light. Yeah, it's a reminder. Sometimes what looks scary isn't. And sometimes the brightest light comes from the most unexpected places. The creature paused at the edge of another clearing, its glowing heart lighting a wide, soft meadow. Fireflies twinkled like stars fallen to the ground, and the moon painted everything in silvery light. The gentle hum from the creature's chest blended with the sound of the wind and rustling leaves, creating soft lullaby. Finn whispered, "Let's sit for a while. Just enjoy this, and see what stories the night has for us." Jake curled beside him, eyes heavy but curious. "Yeah, and let's promise to stay gentle and quiet, and let the glow show us the way." The glowing heart pulsed softly, wrapping Finn and Jake in warmth. The forest seemed to hold its breath, and for the first time that night, the mysterious creature felt truly seen, understood, and safe. And so, in the soft meadow under a sleepy sky full of stars, Finn, Jake, and the midnight creature sat together. Its glowing heart lit the way, not to guide them out, but to guide them into calm, gentle dreams. The night whispered softly, "Even the darkest creature can have a heart that glows. Even the loneliest night can feel warm. And every step in the quiet darkness can lead to friendship and wonder." Finn and Jake leaned back on the soft grass, the creature's warm glow surrounding them. The wind hummed a lullaby, and the forest exhaled quietly. Slowly, their eyes drifted shut, letting the comfort of the glowing heart fill their dreams. The midnight creature, once feared from afar, now glowed brighter than ever. Not as a monster, but as a friend, a guide, and a keeper of gentle light for these sleepy adventurers. The meadow lay bathed in silvery moonlight, with the soft hum of the midnight creature's heart echoing through the quiet night. Fireflies floated lazily in the air, blinking like tiny stars, while the gentle rustle of leaves whispered secrets to the darkness. Finn yawned, stretching on the soft grass. "Jake, I think this creature, it's not just showing us its heart. It's showing us something about the night itself." Jake nodded slowly, his long body curled comfortably on the grass. "Yeah, it's like the forest feels safe now, like it's saying, everything's okay." The glowing creature rose slowly, drifting toward a small, winding path that led deeper into the forest. Its light pulsed rhythmically, sending soft golden ripples across the leaves and tree trunks. Finn and Jake followed carefully, stepping softly on the moss-covered ground. As they moved along, the forest seemed to shift in gentle ways. Trees leaned slightly to form soft archways. Glowing mushrooms lined the path, and tiny streams reflected the creature's warm light like liquid gold. Every step felt magical yet peaceful, like walking through a dream designed for rest and wonder. Finn whispered softly, "I think the glow isn't just for the creature. It's guiding us too, showing us the gentle secrets of the night." Jake's eyes followed the trail of light, wide with awe. "It's like, a beacon for sleepy hearts." The creature paused beside a small clearing, where a circle of tiny, glowing flowers bloomed in the moonlight. Their soft petals shivered with a delicate fragrance, filling the night air with hints of vanilla and honey. The creature lowered its head slightly, illuminating the flowers with its pulsing heart, making them shimmer and sway gently. Finn smiled. Wow, it's like it's painting the forest with light, showing us the quiet beauty of everything we'd usually miss at night. Jake stretched one paw toward a glowing flower, feeling the soft warmth radiate from it. Yeah. Everything feels calm, like the world is telling us a bedtime story without words. The creature began to hum softly, a gentle vibration that seemed to blend with the whispers of the wind and the rustling of leaves. Its glowing heart pulsed in rhythm with the forest, and Finn and Jake felt their own hearts slow, matching the calm beat of the night. Finn leaned back, letting the soft moss cushion him. Jake, it's like the creature's light isn't just bright, it's alive, full of warmth and care. Jake nodded, curling closer to Finn. Yeah, I think it wants to share its heart with us, not to lead us somewhere, but to make us feel safe. The glowing creature began to move again, guiding them along a narrow stream. The water shimmered in the moonlight, reflecting its heart's glow like 1,000 tiny lanterns floating across the surface. Small fish, glowing faintly themselves, swam lazily beneath the surface, and the air smelled faintly of soft rain and wildflowers. Finn whispered, This is incredible. It's like a secret part of Ooo, one that only comes alive at night. One that's gentle and magical. Jake yawned, letting the calm of the forest sink into him. Yeah, and the glowing heart. It's not scary at all. It's comforting, like a warm hug from the night itself. As they followed the creature along the stream, they came across a series of stepping stones leading to a tiny hill. The creature paused at the base, its heart pulsing brighter than before. Finn and Jake climbed carefully, feeling the soft earth beneath their feet and the gentle wind brushing their faces. At the top of the hill, the forest opened into a wide clearing. The moon shone brighter here, and countless fireflies floated in the air, swirling in gentle patterns around the glowing creature. Its heart pulsed steadily, illuminating the entire clearing in soft gold. Finn whispered in awe, Jake, it's like the whole forest is celebrating us being here, like it's showing us a secret bedtime festival. Jake's eyes sparkled as he looked at the glowing creature. And it's not scary at all. It's kind and patient and warm. The creature drifted slowly among the fireflies, its glowing heart pulsing in rhythm with their gentle blinking. Finn and Jake realized that the light wasn't just a beacon. It was a language, a way to share feelings without words. The warmth it radiated told them, you're safe. You're welcome. You are not alone. Finn smiled, reaching out a hand to the glow. The light washed over his fingers like soft sunlight filtering through clouds. It's amazing. It's like its heart speaks directly to ours. Jake curled up beside Finn, letting the gentle warmth seep into him. Yeah, I think this is one of the most peaceful adventures ever, and we're part of it. The creature hovered above them, spinning slowly, leaving trails of sparkling light that floated lazily in the air. The fireflies joined in, twinkling in rhythm with the glowing heart, creating a lullaby of light and soft hums. Finn whispered, even when it looks scary at first. The midnight creature isn't scary. It just wants to share its light, its heart, and maybe help others find their way. Jake nodded, already feeling sleep tug at his eyelids. And I think we found our way tonight too. Not just following it, but understanding it, feeling it. The glowing heart pulsed gently, filling the clearing with warmth. Finn and Jake lay back on the soft grass, watching the gentle light ripple across the leaves. The wind whispered softly, carrying the hum of the creature and the quiet rhythm of the forest. Finn yawned deeply. Jake, I think we could stay here forever, just enjoying this glow, this calm, this quiet adventure. The creature lowered its head, pulsing its heart slowly and steadily. Finn and Jake realized it was inviting them to rest, to let the warmth of the night and the glowing heart lull them into a peaceful, dreamy state. And so, under the soft glow of the midnight creature, in a forest alive with gentle lights and whispering leaves, Finn, Jake, and their new friend settled into calm. The night held them tenderly, and the glowing heart guided them not just through the forest, but into the softest, most comforting dreams. The stars blinked slowly, the moon smiled quietly, and the gentle heartbeat of the creature echoed through the night. Even in darkness, warmth can shine. Even what seems frightening can guide you home. And every heartbeat, every glowing light, can show the way to friendship and comfort. Finn and Jake's eyes grew heavy, the glowing heart wrapping them in safety. Slowly, sleep pulled them down into the coziest dreams, with the midnight creature keeping them warm, calm, and gently lit under the night sky. The soft glow of the midnight creature pulsed steadily, illuminating the forest path as Finn and Jake followed quietly behind. The air was filled with the gentle rustle of leaves and the distant hum of nighttime streams. Every shadow looked soft, every sound was calm, and the forest itself seemed to breathe slowly alongside them. Finn yawned, stretching his arms. Jake, it's amazing how something that looks scary at first can actually be so gentle. Jake nodded, his fur brushing softly against the grass. Yeah, I think that's the trick of it. The heart glows first, and everything else, well, it just seems less scary when you pay attention to the warmth. The creature floated ahead, leading them through a narrow corridor of trees. Its pulsing heart lit up delicate moss on the trunks, shimmering spider webs, and tiny, sleepy animals curled in hidden nooks. Each gentle step revealed a new secret of the night, soft, quiet, and magical. Finn whispered, "Look, Jake, the forest isn't dark. Not really. The glow, it makes everything feel alive and kind." The creature paused beside a small brook, the water reflecting its warm light like liquid gold. Tiny fish swam lazily beneath the surface, glowing faintly in rhythm with the heart above. The creature dipped a claw-like limb into the water, sending tiny ripples across the stream, and the reflections danced like 100 tiny stars. Jake smiled softly. Even the water, it's glowing because of its heart. Everything feels safe. The creature hummed a gentle tune, low and comforting, vibrating through the air and into Finn and Jake's chests. It was more than light. It was a presence, a living warmth that seemed to speak directly to them. You are welcome. You are safe. You are not alone. Finn closed his eyes for a moment, breathing deeply. Jake, this is magical. It's like the forest itself trusts the creature and wants us to trust it too. They followed the creature along a winding path that led them to a small hill. As they climbed, the glow from the heart illuminated tiny flowers that opened softly at night, their petals shimmering like moonlight on water. The creature paused at the top, its light bathing the clearing in a gentle gold. Finn whispered, "Wow. It's like it's showing us its favorite part of the forest, its special place." Jake nodded, lying down on the soft grass. And I think it wants us to rest here for a bit. Enjoy the glow. Feel the calm. The creature floated slowly in a circle around them, its heart pulsing steadily. Each beat sent tiny ripples of light across the grass, making the fireflies blink in gentle rhythm. The soft melody of its hum mingled with the whisper of leaves and the trickling of the nearby brook, forming a lullaby for the whole clearing. Finn reached out a hand toward the glow, and the warm light washed over his fingers, like sunlight filtered through clouds. It's amazing. I can feel the kindness coming from its heart, not just the light. Jake curled closer, resting his head on his paws, eyes heavy. Yeah, it's like the glow is a hug. From the forest, from the night, from the creature itself. The creature drifted closer, lowering its glowing chest to hover just above them. Its heartbeat pulsed steadily, filling the air with calm. Finn whispered, I wonder, has it been alone all this time, guiding itself with its heart? Jake nodded, letting the warmth seep into him. Maybe. And now, it has us. We can be its friends, like it's guiding us to be part of its world. The glowing creature moved slowly, showing them a small circle of stones at the center of the clearing. Finn and Jake realized it was a safe spot, like a natural cradle in the forest. The light pulsed softly, wrapping around them like a blanket. Finn yawned, lying back on the soft grass. Jake, it's like the heart isn't just for showing the way. It's for making the world feel cozy and calm, like bedtime in the forest. Jake's eyes were half closed, the warmth of the glowing heart relaxing every muscle. Yeah, it's perfect. Just perfect. The creature floated above them, spinning in a slow circle, leaving trails of shimmering light that danced through the night air. Fireflies joined in, blinking gently in rhythm with the heartbeat. The clearing glowed with soft gold, the shadows around them dancing lazily, and the entire forest seemed to sigh contentedly. Finn whispered, You know, even when something seems strange or scary at first, if it has a glowing heart, if it has kindness inside, it can become the most comforting friend. Jake murmured, Yeah, it's like the heart shows the truth, that not all monsters are scary. Some just need friends. The creature hovered above them, its heartbeat slowing gently, matching the rhythm of the night. The soft glow wrapped around Finn and Jake, filling them with warmth and calm. Slowly their eyes drifted closed, the forest lullaby carrying them deeper into dreams. The creature's light pulsed softly, illuminating the clearing and the path they had traveled, reminding them that even in the darkest places, a gentle heart could guide the way home. The fireflies twinkled lazily, the brook murmured gently, and the wind hummed softly through the leaves. Finn, Jake, and the midnight creature rested together, hearts connected through the warmth and glow, drifting into the sweetest, most peaceful dreams. And the forest whispered softly, Even the darkest night can hold light. Even what seems frightening can be kind, and even a lonely heart can guide others home. The moon hung high in the sky, casting silver light across the forest. The midnight creature floated ahead of Finn and Jake, its heart pulsing softly in rhythm with the gentle hum of the night. Each step forward revealed new wonders. Moss-covered stones, delicate flowers that shimmered faintly into the dark, and streams that reflected the creature's warm light like liquid gold. Finn yawned, stretching his arms slowly. Jake, it's amazing how much this forest comes alive at night, with just a little glow. Jake nodded, brushing his fur against the soft grass. Yeah, like every shadow is soft and kind, Not scary at all. The creature paused beside a small cluster of glowing mushrooms, their light flickering in time with its heart. Tiny creatures peeked from the underbrush. Sleepy owls, fireflies, and little forest spirits, watching silently as Finn, Jake, and the creature passed. The forest seemed to breathe gently around them, its rhythm matching the glow of the creature's heart. Finn whispered, "Look, Jake. It's like everything here is alive, like the forest itself is happy to see us." The creature floated slowly, its warm light creating soft patterns on the ground. The glow wasn't just for showing the way, it seemed to tell a story all by itself. Every pulse, every shimmer, was full of calm and gentle magic. Jake's eyes followed the glow, wide with wonder. It's like, its heart is speaking to us, saying, "You're safe. You're welcome. Come with me." The path led them to a small clearing surrounded by towering trees. The creature paused at the center, its glow pulsing brighter than ever. Finn and Jake stepped closer, noticing that the light formed shapes in the shadows, a heart, a small home, and a path leading somewhere deeper in the forest. Finn whispered, "Jake, I think it's trying to show us something important to it." Jake nodded, letting the warmth of the glow wash over him. "Yeah, like it wants to share its story with us and maybe let us be part of it." The creature floated toward a hollow tree at the edge of the clearing. Its heart pulsed softly, and as they approached, they saw something extraordinary. Inside the hollow, tiny glowing crystals reflected the creature's light, casting gentle rainbows across the ground. Finn's eyes widened. "Whoa, it's beautiful, like a secret treasure hidden in the forest." Jake whispered, "Yeah, and it's not scary. It's peaceful and happy." The creature lowered its head slightly, and Finn realized that the glow wasn't just a guide. It was a heartbeat, a living presence of warmth and care. The creature's chest pulsed gently, and with each beat, the crystals shimmered brighter, sending soft lights dancing across the clearing. Finn reached out a hand. "Your heart. It's so warm. It's like it wants to tell us everything. That you're not scary, and you just want to help." The creature tilted its head, its glow pulsing faster for a moment, as if nodding in agreement. Its warmth wrapped around Finn and Jake like a blanket of light. Jake yawned, curling closer to Finn. "I think it's showing us that sometimes what seems frightening just needs a little light to reveal its kindness." The creature drifted slowly toward a small hidden path that wound deeper into the forest. Its heart pulsed steadily, illuminating the way with gentle gold. Finn and Jake followed carefully, stepping softly on mossy stones. Every step felt safe, every shadow gentle, and the forest seemed to hold its breath around them. Finn whispered, "Jake, I think it's taking us to its favorite place, the place where it feels most at home." Jake nodded, his eyes heavy but sparkling. "Yeah, I can feel it. Like this glow is guiding us not just through the forest, but into its story." The path opened into a quiet glade where the ground was soft and the air smelled faintly of wildflowers and warm earth. In the center of the glade was a small pool, reflecting the moonlight and the glow of the creature's heart. The water rippled gently, sending sparkling reflections across the trees. Finn whispered, This must be its home. Hey, its secret place where it can shine without fear." The creature hovered above the pool, its chest pulsing brighter. With each pulse, the light reflected in the water, casting a soft, warm glow all around. Finn and Jake realized that the creature's heart wasn't just glowing, it was guiding, comforting, and sharing its warmth with them. Jake curled up beside Finn. Even though it looks big and strange, it's gentle and kind and full of warmth. Finn smiled, brushing his hand against the creature's glowing light. I think, it's been waiting for friends, for someone to understand, and we're here now. The creature lowered itself, letting its heart's glow wash over them fully. The glade seemed to hum softly with magic, the magic of kindness, trust, and gentle friendship. The moonlight blended with the golden glow, painting a perfect scene of calm and peace. Finn whispered softly, "Even the darkest, loneliest nights can have light if we're brave enough to follow it." Jake yawned, letting the warmth of the creature and the calm of the glade lull him. Yeah, and sometimes the brightest light comes from the most unexpected friends. The glowing creature pulsed gently, its heartbeat slow and steady. Finn and Jake lay back on the soft grass beside the pool, feeling the warmth of the glow wrap around them like a cozy blanket. The forest exhaled softly, and the gentle hum of the creature mingled with the whispers of the night. The stars twinkled lazily, the fireflies blinked in time with the heart, and the moon watched quietly. Finn, Jake, and the midnight creature rested together, hearts connected through the warmth and glow, drifting into peaceful, gentle dreams. And the forest whispered softly, "Even what seems frightening can be kind. Even the darkest paths can be lit with warmth. And even the loneliest heart can guide friends home." The moon hung high in the sky, spilling silver light over the forest as Finn and Jake followed the glowing creature along a soft, winding path. Its heart pulsed steadily, radiating warmth that made the shadows feel calm instead of frightening. Every step through the forest revealed small wonders. Mossy stones glimmered faintly. Tiny streams reflected the creature's light like liquid gold, and sleepy animals peeked from hidden nooks. Finn whispered, "Jake, I think the glow is showing us the hidden beauty of the night, all the quiet things we usually miss." Jake nodded slowly, his eyes heavy but curious. "Yeah, it's like a secret bedtime world, where everything is calm, gentle, and magical." The creature led them into a clearing filled with soft, flickering lights. Hundreds of tiny floating orbs hovered in the air, glowing like miniature lanterns. Some blinked slowly, others swirled gently, creating patterns that looked like stars dancing through the night. Finn's eyes widened. "Whoa, Jake, look at all those lights. It's like the night itself is celebrating us being here." Jake stretched, feeling the warmth from the creature's heart spread across the clearing. "Yeah. And they're all so gentle. They don't scare you at all, just calm and happy." The glowing creature floated slowly among the lights, its heartbeat pulsing in harmony with the floating orbs. Finn realized that the creature wasn't just guiding them, it was sharing a piece of its world, letting them experience the magic it carried inside. Finn whispered softly, "I think this is its favorite place, the place that makes it feel safe and happy." Jake nodded, curling closer to Finn. "And now, it wants us to feel that too, to share its glow and warmth." The creature paused beside a small patch of glowing flowers. Their petals shimmered like silver in the moonlight, swaying gently in rhythm with the creature's heartbeat. Finn knelt down, brushing his fingers over a petal, feeling the faint warmth radiate through his fingertips. Finn smiled. "It's incredible. Even the flowers feel like part of its heart, part of its story." The creature floated higher, hovering above a tiny stream that reflected its light. Ripples of gold spread across the water, and tiny fish swam lazily beneath the surface, glowing faintly in response to the heart above. The entire glade seemed alive with gentle magic. Jake whispered, "Finn, it's not scary at all. It's warm and kind, like the forest itself is singing a lullaby for us." The glowing creature began to hum softly, a low vibration that blended perfectly with the sound of the water and the whispering leaves. Its heartbeat pulsed in steady rhythm, filling the air with calm, soothing energy. Finn leaned back on the soft grass, letting the light wash over him. Even though it looks strange, even though it seems big, it's just lonely and gentle and wants to help. Jake nodded sleepily, closing his eyes for a moment. "Yeah, and now we can be part of its world, part of its heart." The creature moved slowly in a circle around them, leaving sparkling trails of golden light that lingered in the air. The fireflies joined in, blinking in rhythm with the heartbeat, creating a soft, magical lullaby. Finn whispered softly, "Even what seems scary at first can become one of the gentlest, most comforting friends if we pay attention to its heart." Jake murmured, "And its heart. It's guiding us home, not away from somewhere, but into calm, into warmth, into friendship." The creature lowered itself near the edge of the clearing, its glowing chest illuminating a soft, hidden path lined with tiny, delicate mushrooms. Each pulse of light seemed to whisper, "Follow me, step by step, gently, into dreams." Finn reached out a hand, letting the light wash over his fingers. It was incredible, like it's sharing its kindness, one heartbeat at a time. The creature's glow pulsed slowly, rhythmically, as if the forest itself had joined in its gentle song. Finn and Jake lay back on the soft moss, feeling the warmth wrap around them like a cozy blanket. The soft hum of the creature blended with the whispers of the night, creating a lullaby for every leaf, stone, and shadow in the forest. Finn whispered, "Jake, even in the darkest night, even when something looks frightening, there can be light, warmth, and friendship." Jake curled up closer, letting his eyes drift shut. "Yeah, the glowing heart. It shows the way, and it keeps us safe." The creature hovered above them, pulsing gently, leaving trails of soft, golden sparkles that danced through the air. The forests exhaled quietly, a gentle sigh of comfort as Finn, Jake, and the creature rested together in the magical glade. The stars blinked slowly, fireflies danced lazily, and the moon smiled quietly. Finn and Jake drifted deeper into peaceful sleep, guided by the warmth and glow of their new friend. And the forest whispered softly, "Even the loneliest hearts can shine. Even what seems scary can be gentle, and every glowing light can lead friends home." The creature's heartbeat continued to pulse softly, carrying them all into calm, dream-filled sleep, as the forest cradled the night in quiet magic. The tree fort was quiet under a gentle night sky, the stars twinkling lazily above Ooo. Finn and Jake were curled up, blankets pulled close, listening to the soft rustle of leaves outside. But tonight, something felt different. Finn yawned, stretching. "Jake, do you hear that? It sounds like laughter, but it's weird, soft and echoey, like it's coming from far away." Jake lifted an ear, tilting his head. "Laughter? At this hour, huh? Maybe it's coming from that old tower near the edge of the forest and the one we've never explored." Finn's eyes widened, curiosity sparkling despite his sleepiness. "Yeah, the haunted tower. The one everyone says is full of scary echoes, but this sounds different. Happy, playful, like it's inviting us." The two friends quietly climbed out of the bed and tiptoed to the door. The night air was cool and soft, and the gentle moonlight guided them toward the forest. As they walked, the echoes of soft giggles floated on the breeze, gentle and comforting rather than frightening. Jake whispered, "Whoa, the tower. It's glowing a little. Look, see that soft light coming from the windows?" Finn nodded, eyes wide. "Yep. It's like it's waiting for someone to come inside, but not to scare them, to play with them." The haunted tower rose tall and mysterious against the night sky. Its stones were dark, and its windows shimmered with faint golden light. Strange shadows danced along the walls, shaped like little creatures and clouds that seemed to move in rhythm with the soft echoes. Finn took a deep breath, feeling the cool night breeze brush his face. "Jake, it's supposed to be scary, but I don't feel scared. I feel curious and kind of sleepy, like it wants us to come closer." Jake nodded, tail curling lightly. "Yeah, like the tower itself is a bedtime story, waiting to unfold." The echoes of laughter grew softer as they approached the door. Finn reached out a hand and pushed it open carefully. Inside, the air smelled faintly of vanilla and old paper, warm and comforting. The tower was filled with long, winding hallways, twisting staircases, and tall, narrow rooms. Shadows moved gently along the walls, but instead of being frightening, they shimmered with a playful glow. Each echoing giggle seemed to come from the corners of the room, bouncing softly from the wall to wall. Finn whispered, "Jake, it's not scary at all. It's like the echoes are alive and happy, waiting for us to notice them." Jake padded softly across the floor, following a faint trail of glowing footprints that seemed to appear out of nowhere. "Yeah, like someone or something wants us to explore, but slowly, gently, like a bedtime adventure." As they moved deeper into the tower, the echoes of laughter grew louder, but still gentle, warm, and inviting. Finn realized each echo was slightly different. Some sounded like tiny giggles, others like soft chimes of bells, and some like the distant laughter of children at play. Finn smiled softly. "Jake, every echo is like a little story, a hidden giggle waiting for us to find it." The tower's walls were lined with tall windows that shimmered with the moonlight. Shadows danced across the floor, forming shapes of animals, clouds, and soft hills that seemed to move in rhythm with the echoes. Every step Finn and Jake took felt calm, safe, and magical. Jake whispered, "Finn, it's like the tower itself is alive, and it's happy to see us." Finn nodded, reaching out to a wall. His fingers brushed against the cool stone, and a faint vibration ran through it, like the tower was humming in tune with the giggles. "It wants to play with us, gently, softly, like a lullaby made of laughter." They continued up a twisting staircase that spiraled around a tall central column. Each step made a soft musical chime, echoing along the walls. Finn realized that every sound in the tower, from the faint footsteps of shadows to the giggling echoes, worked together like an orchestra of bedtime magic. Jake yawned, curling slightly. "Finn, it's like walking inside a dream, one that's funny, magical, and cozy all at once." At the top of the tower, they entered a wide circular room. The walls glimmered with soft golden light, and the echoes of laughter danced across the ceiling like a gentle breeze. In the center of the room was a small pedestal with a tiny, glowing orb. When Finn and Jake approached, the orb floated upward, spinning gently, releasing more soft, melodic giggles into the air. Finn whispered, "Jake, it's like the tower's heart, the place where all the laughter lives, and it wants us to see it." Jake's eyes sparkled as he watched the orb spin slowly. Yeah, and it's not scary. It's full of joy and magic, like it's sharing a secret bedtime story with us. The orb floated toward them, and the echoes of laughter swirled softly around their heads. Finn realized that every echo, every giggle, was a small piece of happiness trapped in the tower, waiting for someone to notice and enjoy it. Finn sat down on the soft floor, letting the warm, golden light wash over him. Jake, it's amazing, all these little giggles. They're like tiny stars lighting up the tower, and maybe lighting up our hearts, too. Jake curled beside him, letting the glow settle around him. Yeah, and the tower, it's like a gentle guardian of happiness, keeping all the echoes safe until someone comes to find them. The orb floated in circles above them, releasing soft, musical giggles that blended with the hum of the tower. Finn and Jake leaned back, closing their eyes for a moment, feeling the warmth, the calm, and the playful magic of the haunted tower. Finn whispered softly, "Even in a spooky place, happiness can hide, and sometimes it just needs someone curious and kind to find it." Jake yawned, his eyes already heavy. Yeah, the giggles aren't scary. They're cozy, like the tower's tucking us in. The tower hummed gently, the echoes of laughter swirling around them, wrapping the room in a blanket of warmth, calm, and gentle magic. Finn and Jake rested there, letting the soft, playful echoes carry them slowly into dreams. And the tower whispered softly, "Even what seems haunted can hold joy. Even echoes can giggle. And even the quietest laughter can guide sleepy hearts home." Finn and Jake's eyelids grew heavy, and with the tower's gentle laughter surrounding them, they drifted into soft, dream-filled sleep, ready for the next part of the magical, giggling adventure. The soft glow of the tower's orb surrounded Finn and Jake as they tiptoed further into the twisting hallways. The gentle echoes of laughter bounced softly from wall to wall, like tiny musical notes floating on the night air. Each giggle seemed different, some high and light, others low and rolling, but all were warm, playful, and comforting. Finn whispered, "Jake, I think every corner of this tower has its own little story, its own little laugh, just waiting for someone to hear it." Jake nodded, ears twitching at the soft sounds. "Yeah, and none of it is scary, even the shadows. They're like little friends hiding, waiting to say hello." They came to a narrow hallway lined with tall windows. The moonlight spilled through, casting silver patterns across the floor. Tiny echoes of giggles danced along the walls, forming shapes like floating stars, soft clouds, and playful animals. Finn realized that the tower wasn't haunted by anything mean. It was alive with joy and laughter, carefully hidden until someone kind enough came to discover it. Finn smiled softly. It's like the tower itself has a heart, and its heart is full of giggles. Jake's tail swished as he padded forward. Yeah, and we get to follow the sound piece by piece like a bedtime treasure hunt. The hallway led them to a spiral staircase that tree fort was quiet. The stars twinkled lazily in the dark sky, their soft silver light spilling across the Land of Ooo. Finn and Jake were like the distant laughter of children at play. Finn smiled softly. Jake, every echo is like a little story, a hidden giggle waiting for us to find it. The tower's walls were lined with tall windows that shimmered with the moonlight. Shadows danced across the floor, forming shapes of animals, clouds, and soft hills that seemed to move in rhythm with the echoes. Every step Finn and Jake took felt calm, safe, and magical. Jake whispered, "Finn, it's like the tower itself is alive, and it's happy to see us." Finn nodded, reaching out to a wall. His fingers brushed against the cool stone, and a faint vibration ran through it, like the tower was humming in tune with the giggles. It wants to play with us, gently, softly, like a lullaby made of laughter. They continued up a twisting staircase that spiraled around a tall central column. Each step made a soft musical chime, echoing along the walls. Finn realized that every sound in the tower, from the faint footsteps of shadows to the giggling echoes, worked together like an orchestra of bedtime magic. Jake yawned, curling slightly. "Finn, it's like walking inside a dream, one that's funny, magical, and cozy all at once." At the top of the tower, they entered a wide circular room. The walls glimmered with soft golden light, and the echoes of laughter danced across the ceiling like a gentle breeze. In the center of the room was a small pedestal with a tiny, glowing orb. When Finn and Jake approached, the orb floated upward, spinning gently, releasing more soft, melodic giggles into the air. Finn whispered, "Jake, it's like the tower's heart, the place where all the laughter lives, and it wants us to see it." Jake's eyes sparkled as he watched the orb spin slowly. "Yeah, and it's not scary. It's full of joy and magic, like it's sharing a secret bedtime story with us." The orb floated toward them, and the echoes of laughter swirled softly around their heads. Finn realized that every echo, every giggle, was a small piece of happiness trapped in the tower, waiting for someone to notice and enjoy it. Finn sat down on the soft floor, letting the warm, golden light wash over him. "Jake, it's amazing, all these little giggles. They're like tiny stars lighting up the tower, and maybe lighting up our hearts, too." Jake curled beside him, letting the glow settle around him. "Yeah, and the tower, it's like a gentle guardian of happiness, keeping all the echoes safe until someone comes to find them." The orb floated in circles above them, releasing soft, musical giggles that blended with the hum of the tower. Finn and Jake leaned back, closing their eyes for a moment, feeling the warmth, the calm, and the playful magic of the haunted tower. Finn whispered softly, "Even in a spooky place, happiness can hide, and sometimes it just needs someone curious and kind to find it." Jake yawned, his eyes already heavy. "Yeah, the giggles aren't scary. They're cozy, like the tower's tucking us in." The tower hummed gently, the echoes of laughter swirling around them, wrapping the room in a blanket of warmth, calm, and gentle magic. Finn and Jake rested there, letting the soft, playful echoes carry them slowly into dreams. And the tower whispered softly, "Even what seems haunted can hold joy. Even echoes can giggle. And even the quietest laughter can guide sleepy hearts home." Finn and Jake's eyelids grew heavy, and with the tower's gentle laughter surrounding them, they drifted into soft, dream-filled sleep. ready for the next part of the magical, giggling adventure. The soft glow of the tower's orb surrounded Finn and Jake as they tiptoed further into the twisting hallways. The gentle echoes of laughter bounced softly from wall to wall, like tiny musical notes floating on the night air. Each giggle seemed different, some high and light, others low and rolling, but all were warm, playful, and comforting. Finn whispered, "Jake, I think every corner of this tower has its own little story, its own little laugh, just waiting for someone to hear it." Jake nodded, ears twitching at the soft sounds. "Yeah, and none of it is scary, even the shadows. They're like little friends hiding, waiting to say hello." They came to a narrow hallway lined with tall windows. The moonlight spilled through, casting silver patterns across the floor. Tiny echoes of giggles danced along the walls, forming shapes like floating stars, soft clouds, and playful animals. Finn realized that the tower wasn't haunted by anything mean. It was alive with joy and laughter, carefully hidden until someone kind enough came to discover it. Finn smiled softly. It's like the tower itself has a heart, and its heart is full of giggles. Jake's tail swished as he padded forward. "Yeah, and we get to follow the sound piece by piece like a bedtime treasure hunt." The hallway led them to a spiral staircase that twisted gently upward. Each step made a faint chime, echoing softly, and blending with the laughter that floated from every corner. Finn and Jake moved slowly, carefully, letting the tower guide them in its own quiet, magical way. At the top of the stairs, they entered a wide room filled with floating lanterns. Each lantern glowed softly, casting golden circles on the walls. The echoes of laughter swirled around them, bouncing from lantern to lantern, creating a gentle symphony of playful sounds. Finn whispered, "Jake, it's like the lanterns are catching the giggles, holding them in the air, so no one ever loses them." Jake curled up on the floor, letting the warm glow wash over him. "Yeah, and every giggle feels like a tiny hug, like the tower is giving us bedtime magic." In the center of the room was a tall, elegant mirror. As Finn approached, he noticed that the reflections didn't show just him and Jake. They shimmered with faint shapes of floating giggles, swirling around and creating patterns like dancing ribbons of light. Finn's eyes widened. "Whoa, it's like the laughter has a life of its own. It's part of the tower, part of everything here." Jake whispered, "Yeah, it's playful and gentle and happy to have us here." The floating lanterns twirled slowly, and the echoes of laughter seemed to follow them, rising and falling like soft waves. Finn and Jake realized that the tower wanted them to explore slowly, to notice every little sound, every hidden giggle, and to let it fill their hearts with calm and warmth. Finn sat down on the soft floor, letting the lantern light surround him. "Jake, even when something looks spooky from the outside, inside it can be full of kindness and joy, if you take the time to look." Jake curled beside him, tail draped over Finn's arm. "Yeah, even the scariest echo can turn into a giggle, if you're patient and gentle." A small door at the far end of the room opened slowly, revealing another corridor, lined with bookshelves. Each book glimmered faintly, and when Finn and Jake stepped closer, tiny giggles escaped from the pages. Some sounded like whispers, others like gentle chimes, and all made them feel warm and calm inside. Finn whispered softly, "Jake, these books, they hold the laughter too, like little stories waiting to be shared." Jake nodded, ears twitching. "Yeah, the tower isn't just a place. It's a home for happiness, for giggles that don't want to be forgotten." As they explored, the echoes of laughter seemed to wrap around them like a soft blanket. Finn and Jake followed the playful sounds, discovering small, hidden corners with glowing flowers, tiny floating creatures, and soft, sparkling dust that danced in the light. Each giggle they found seemed to join the others, creating a gentle symphony of happiness that filled every room. Finn whispered, "Even in a place that looks haunted, there's magic hiding, waiting for someone to notice." Jake yawned, curling closer. "Yeah, and we found it. The tower was hard. It's playful, gentle heart." The floating lantern swirled overhead, casting golden shadows that danced softly along the walls. The echoes of laughter grew quieter as Finn and Jake settled into a cozy corner, letting the warmth and calm of the tower fill them. The gentle hum of joy mixed with the soft rustling of leaves outside the windows created a lullaby for their hearts. Finn whispered softly, "Even what seems eerie can hold happiness. Even shadows can giggle. And even the quietest echo can bring comfort to a sleepy heart." Jake's eyes drifted closed, letting the warmth of the tower wrap around him. Yeah, and every giggle, every echo, it's like a soft hug from the night itself. The tower's laughter whispered gently, bouncing off the walls and swirling around them, cradling Finn and Jake in gentle magic. They lay back on the soft floor, letting the giggles guide them into dreams, peaceful and full of warmth. And the tower whispered softly, "Even the quietest corners can hold joy. Even what seems haunted can be kind. And even the tiniest laughter can light the way home." Finn and Jake's eyelids grew heavy, and surrounded by soft golden light and gentle echoes, they drifted slowly into dream-filled sleep, ready for more magical giggles in the tower. The soft golden glow of the tower surrounded Finn and Jake as they followed the echoes of laughter deeper into its winding hallways. Each giggle seemed to shimmer in the air like tiny fireflies, bouncing off the walls and creating patterns of light that danced across the floor. The tower felt alive, playful, and welcoming, nothing like the scary place the stories had suggested. Finn whispered, "Jake, every corner has a new laugh, a new little story, like it's all waiting for us to notice it." Jake nodded, tail flicking softly. "Yeah, it's like the tower is a giant bedtime game, full of surprises that make you smile instead of scream." As they turned a corner, they discovered a small room with walls lined entirely with mirrors. Each mirror reflected not only Finn and Jake, but also tiny, dancing shapes of laughter, floating ribbons of gold and silver that twisted and twirled in the reflections. Each giggle seemed to create a ripple, making the reflections shimmer and spin in joyful patterns. Finn's eyes widened. "Whoa, Jake, it's like the echoes live inside the mirrors, too. Like every laugh has its own little home." Jake padded forward, ears perked. "Yeah, and look, when we move, they move with us, like the towers playing along." They moved slowly through the mirrored room, watching the playful reflections spin around them. Each reflection held a tiny, magical giggle that whispered softly, "We're here. We're happy. You found us." Finn whispered softly, "Even the mirrors, even the echoes, they just want someone kind to notice them." The creature of the tower, the living heart of its laughter, seemed to pulse with warmth as they explored. Tiny trails of golden light floated along the floor, leading them to a hidden door partially covered by a tapestry. The faint echoes of giggles grew louder on the other side, like a secret waiting to be discovered. Finn gently pushed the door open, revealing a wide circular room filled with floating pillows, soft rugs, and twinkling lights hovering in the air. The laughter here was gentle and musical, bouncing from the walls and ceiling, filling the room with a playful symphony. Jake's eyes widened as he patted inside. Finn, this is amazing. It's like a secret playroom made of laughter. Finn smiled, sitting down on a soft rug. Yeah, every giggle feels like a hug, like the tower wants us to feel happy and calm at the same time. Tiny, shimmering creatures darted around the room, floating orbs that giggled whenever they touched the walls or the rugs. Each sound was soft, musical, and comforting, blending perfectly with the other echoes in the tower. Finn reached out a hand, and one of the little lights twirled around his fingers, giggling softly in response. Finn whispered, "Jake, it's like the echoes aren't just sounds. They're alive, playful, waiting to share their joy." Jake curled up beside him, letting the warmth of the room fill him. Yeah, it's the kind of magic that makes bedtime feel safe and fun, not scary at all. The echoes of laughter began to swirl gently around the room, forming patterns in the air like glowing ribbons. Finn realized that the tower's giggles weren't just sounds. They were a language, a way to share happiness without words. Each echo told a small story, tiny moments of joy, curiosity, and friendship, all carefully held inside the tower. Finn whispered softly, "Even in a place that looked scary, there can be happiness hiding, waiting for someone to notice." Jake nodded, eyes half closed. "Yeah. And every laugh, every echo, it's like a little heartbeat of kindness." A small staircase in the corner led to an attic space filled with even more glowing orbs and floating books. As Finn and Jake climbed, the echoes of laughter followed them, bouncing softly from wall to wall. Each book hummed faintly with magic, releasing tiny giggles whenever it was touched by the golden light of the tower. Finn reached out to a book, and it floated up slightly, releasing a chorus of gentle, musical laughter. "Wow, Jake, every book, every corner, and the tower is full of happy secrets." Jake whispered, "Yeah, it's like the tower itself wants to play. Gently, slowly, like a bedtime story coming to life." At the very top of the tower, they found a small window that looked out over the Land of Ooo. The moonlight spilled in, mixing with the golden glow of the tower, creating a soft, magical light that danced across the room. The echoes of laughter swirled around them, blending with the night breeze, and Finn felt a sense of calm he had never felt before. Finn whispered softly, "Even in the tallest, quietest places, joy can hide, and sometimes it only takes someone gentle to find it." Jake curled up next to Finn, letting the warmth of the glowing echoes settle around him. "Yeah, and now we're part of the tower, part of its heart, part of the laughter." The room hummed with magic, and the soft, musical giggles wrapped around Finn and Jake like a cozy blanket. They lay back on the soft rugs, letting the tower's warmth, light, and laughter lull them toward dreams. Finn whispered softly, "Even what seems haunted can hold happiness. Even echoes can play. And even the tiniest giggle can guide the sleepy heart home." The floating lights twirled gently, the laughter swirled softly around them, and the tower cradled Finn and Jake in its gentle magic. Slowly their eyelids grew heavy, and the echoes carried them into the sweetest, most peaceful dreams. The golden light of the tower glimmered softly as Finn and Jake followed the gentle echoes upward through narrow, winding staircases. Each step carried a faint musical chime, harmonizing with the playful giggles that bounced softly from the walls. Every shadow seemed alive, stretching and swaying in rhythm with the laughter, but none of it was frightening, only comforting, like the tower itself was welcoming them. Finn whispered, "Jake, I think we're getting closer. Closer to the heart of all the laughter." Jake's ears twitched as he patted softly. "Yeah, you can feel it. Like the tower smiling, waiting to show us something special." At the top of the tower, they entered a wide circular chamber filled with hundreds of softly glowing orbs. Each orb contained tiny, dancing giggles that shimmered in the golden light. Some floated lazily, others twirled like miniature stars, and all whispered joyful, musical laughter. Finn's eyes sparkled. "Whoa, Jake. It's like the entire tower's happiness is concentrated here. Like a treasure chest of giggles." Jake nodded, tail curling with excitement. "Yeah, and every echo is alive, like it wants to share its story with us." The orbs floated gently around the room, following Finn and Jake as they moved. With each step, a new giggle would rise, a soft, playful sound that wrapped around them like a warm blanket. Finn realized that the tower itself was not haunted by anything scary. It was alive with kindness, playfulness, and gentle magic. Finn whispered, "Even what seems empty or quiet can hold so much joy if you take the time to notice it." Jake smiled, letting the soft glow wash over him. "Yeah, every echo, every giggle, it's a little piece of happiness, saved just for someone to find." At the center of the chamber was a small, glowing pedestal. Perched upon it was a delicate crystal orb, brighter than all the others, radiating warmth and soft, melodic giggles that seemed to form a gentle heartbeat. The orbs swirled around it as if paying homage, their echoes blending into a soft, continuous lullaby. Finn leaned closer, eyes wide with awe. "This must be the source, the heart of all the laughter in the tower," Jake whispered. "Yeah, it's like the tower itself is alive, and this heart keeps all the giggles safe, waiting for someone to come and share them." As they watched, the orb pulsed gently, and the tiny giggles rose in a delicate spiral, floating toward the ceiling before drifting back down. The effect was mesmerizing, a dance of light and laughter that filled the room with warmth, calm, and playful magic. Finn reached out a hand. "Wow, even touching it, I can feel the happiness, the joy, the kindness inside." Jake patted closer, letting the warmth wrap around him. "Yeah, it's like the heart is saying, 'You're welcome. Come play. Come be part of the laughter.'" The tower hummed softly, a gentle vibration that seemed to echo through every stone and shadow. The echoes of giggles joined the hum, forming a lullaby that felt alive, breathing with the rhythm of the tower. Finn and Jake felt their hearts slow, matching the calm, joyful pulse of the magical orb. Finn whispered, "Even in a place that looks haunted, even in a tower that seems spooky, there's happiness, waiting for someone kind enough to find it." Jake curled up beside him, letting the soft light settle around them. "Yeah, it's playful, gentle, magical, like a bedtime story come to life." The floating orbs swirled gently around Finn and Jake, their soft giggles blending into a calm symphony. The crystal heart pulsed slowly, and Finn realized that the tower's magic was more than just fun. It was a reminder that joy could exist anywhere, even in unexpected places. Finn whispered softly, "Even what seems eerie can hold happiness. Even the quietest corners can be full of light, and even the tiniest laughter can guide sleepy hearts home." Jake closed his eyes, letting the warmth of the heart and the echoes cradle him like a cozy blanket. Yeah, every giggle, every echo. It's a little hug from the tower, from the night, from the magic itself. The chamber hummed softly, the golden glow and playful echoes wrapping around Finn and Jake. Slowly their eyelids grew heavy, and the gentle rhythm of the tower's laughter carried them into peaceful, dream-filled sleep. And the tower whispered softly, "Even the loneliest rooms can hold joy. Even the quietest shadows can giggle. And every echo, every laugh, can light the way to friendship and calm." The crystal heart pulsed gently, its warmth filling every corner as Finn, Jake, and the tower rested together in the magical embrace of laughter, preparing for the next part of their gentle, giggling adventure. The soft, golden glow of the tower filled the air as Finn and Jake carefully followed the floating orbs, their gentle giggles echoing like a lullaby. Every corner they turned revealed something new. Tiny rooms with glowing rugs, hallways where shadows danced in rhythm with the laughter, and small balconies that looked out over the moonlit Land of Ooo. Finn whispered, "Jake, every room we find is like a secret gift, a hidden piece of happiness waiting for someone to discover." Jake's tail flicked as he padded forward softly. "Yeah, it's like the tower wants us to explore slowly, enjoy every little laugh, every tiny sparkle of magic." They came to a room filled with soft, floating pillows that drifted lazily in the air. Each pillow emitted a faint, musical giggle when touched. As Finn and Jake stepped inside, the pillows floated gently around them, bouncing softly in a playful dance. Finn laughed quietly. "Jake, it's like the pillows are alive, and they're inviting us to join their game." Jake patted among them, letting the soft glow and gentle giggles surround him. "Yeah, and none of it is scary. It's all cozy and fun, perfect for bedtime." The laughter echoed gently from every corner, weaving together in a melody of warmth and calm. Tiny, glowing creatures darted between the pillows, giggling softly whenever they touched the floor or walls. Finn realized that each giggle, each playful sound, was part of the tower's heart, a living magic designed to comfort and delight anyone who came inside. Finn whispered, "Even what seems haunted can be full of joy if you look closely and let yourself be gentle." Jake curled up on a floating pillow, letting the soft glow wash over him. "Yeah, the tower isn't scary at all. It's playful, like a bedtime story come to life." A small archway led them into another hidden room filled with tiny floating mirrors. Each mirror reflected their shapes, but as Finn and Jake moved, the reflections giggled softly, creating trails of light and gentle echoes that danced across the walls. The laughter felt alive, like it was inviting them to explore, play, and simply enjoy the magic around them. Finn whispered softly, "Jake, every echo, every reflection, it's like the tower is sharing its heart with us, showing that even spooky places can hold happiness." Jake's eyes twinkled as he followed a trail of golden sparks through the room. "Yeah, it's like a secret playground, hidden in the tallest tower, made of laughter and light." The floating orbs swirled above them, their soft giggles blending into a soothing melody. Finn realized that the tower's magic was more than just playful. It was a reminder that joy could be found in unexpected places if only you were curious enough to look. Finn sat down on a soft, glowing rug, letting the warmth surround him. "Jake, even the shadows, even the quiet corners, they can hold happiness if you notice the little things." Jake curled up beside him, letting the gentle glow and soft giggles lull him. Yeah, the tower. Its heart. The echoes. It's all like a cozy hug from the night. A small door at the back of the room opened to a balcony overlooking the moonlit forest. The gentle wind carried the soft echoes outside, scattering them across the trees. Finn and Jake watched as the giggles danced among the treetops, like tiny stars playing in the night. Finn whispered, "Even out there, the laughter reaches everything, touching every shadow, every leaf, every heart, like a gentle bedtime story." Jake yawned, curling tighter. "Yeah, and the tower's heart. It shares its joy, slowly, softly, so we can carry it with us." The floating pillows, glowing orb, and musical giggles wrapped around Finn and Jake, cradling them in warmth, calm, and playful magic. The echoes bounced gently off the walls, blending with the rustling leaves outside the windows, forming a lullaby that carried them closer to sleep. Finn whispered softly, "Even what seems eerie, even a haunted tower can be full of joy. Even the quietest echoes can giggle. And every laugh, every little sparkle of happiness can guide sleepy hearts home." The tower hummed softly, its golden glow pulsing gently. Finn and Jake lay back on the soft rugs, letting the warmth and playful laughter carry them into calm, dream-filled sleep. The gentle echoes wrapped around them like a blanket, and the tower's heart glimmered softly, a reminder that even in unexpected places, magic and joy could always be found. And the tower whispered softly, "Even the tallest, quietest places can hold joy. Even shadows can dance with laughter. And every playful echo can guide you safely to dreams." Finn and Jake's eyelids grew heavy, and surrounded by golden light and gentle giggles, they drifted slowly into a peaceful, magical sleep, ready for the final part of their heartwarming adventure in the haunted tower. The golden glow of the haunted tower pulsed softly, bouncing from the walls and illuminating every nook and cranny as Finn and Jake tiptoed deeper inside. The air smelled faintly of vanilla and warm wood, a comforting scent that seemed to hug them with every step. The gentle giggles of the tower echoed through the corridors, soft and playful, wrapping around their hearts like a warm blanket. Finn whispered, "Jake, every little sound here, it's like a tiny piece of happiness, hidden in the shadows, waiting for someone to notice it." Jake nodded slowly, ears flicking at the delicate laughter bouncing around them. "Yeah, it's like the tower is alive, not scary at all, just quietly magical." They entered a large room where soft floating pillows drifted lazily in the air. Each pillow released a faint, musical giggle whenever it moved, and the gentle floating motion made the room feel like it was breathing. Finn reached out and touched one. It spun slowly, sending a ripple of soft laughter across the ceiling. Finn smiled, lying back on the pillows. "Jake, these pillows, they're alive with joy. Every laugh feels like it's made just for us." Jake patted between them, letting the golden glow wash over him. "Yeah, and each giggle is different. Some soft, some ticklish, all of them warm and playful." The echoes of laughter weren't just sounds. They felt like little sparks of magic. Finn noticed how each echo seemed to respond to their movements. When he walked, the giggles floated along beside him. When Jake patted ahead, the echoes trailed behind like invisible ribbons of light. Finn whispered softly, "Even the walls, even the shadows, they're full of happiness, if you pay attention." In the corner of the room, a small arched door led to another hidden chamber. As Finn and Jake stepped through, they discovered a magical garden suspended in the tower. Glowing flowers floated midair, petals drifting lazily, like they were dancing to the giggles. Tiny, sparkling insects hovered among the blooms, laughing softly whenever the petals brushed them. Jake's eyes widened in wonder. Finn, it's like the garden is alive, full of happiness, even in a tower that's supposed to be haunted. Finn knelt, letting a glowing flower brush against his hand. Yeah, the echoes, the giggles, they're part of this place. Like the tower itself wants to show us joy. Above them, tiny glowing lanterns swirled slowly, casting soft circles of light that danced across the floating petals and rugs below. Each lantern emitted its own little giggle, harmonizing with the echoes from the pillows and the walls. The room was alive with gentle, playful music, an invisible orchestra of laughter that made Finn and Jake feel cozy and safe. Finn whispered, "Jake, it's like a secret playground, hidden away, waiting for someone curious and kind to explore it." Jake curled up on a floating rug, letting the soft warmth and glow wrap around him. Yeah, and every laugh, every little echo, it's like a hug from the tower itself. They wandered further into the magical playground, discovering more hidden rooms. One chamber was filled with mirrors that reflected not only their shapes, but also the floating giggles themselves. Each reflection sparkled with joy, twirling and spinning as if the laughter itself had a life of its own. Finn's eyes widened. Whoa, Jake, the echoes live here, in the mirrors, in every corner, everywhere we look. Jake patted among the mirrors, letting the glowing reflections swirl around him. Yeah, and it's not scary. It's like the laughter wants us to feel happy, to play gently, and rest. The soft giggles began to gather near a small, glowing pedestal in the center of the playground. Atop it was a crystal heart, radiating warmth and gentle musical laughter. Its golden glow filled the room, and the floating orbs and giggling pillows all seemed to orbit it in a slow, peaceful rhythm. Finn reached out carefully, feeling the warmth radiate into his hands. Jake, this must be the heart of the tower, the source of all the laughter, the reason everything is so magical. Jake leaned closer, letting the golden glow envelop him. Yeah, and it's like it wants us to feel its joy, gently, slowly, like a bedtime story come to life. The echoes of laughter swirled around them, creating a melody that blended with the soft hum of the tower itself. Finn and Jake realized that every giggle, every playful echo, was part of a living, breathing story, one that only revealed itself to those who approached with curiosity, kindness, and patience. Finn whispered softly, "Even a place that looks haunted, even a tall, quiet tower, can be full of happiness, if you notice the little things." Jake yawned, curling up on a floating pillow, letting the warmth and gentle giggles wrap around him. Yeah, the tower's heart, the echoes, all of it. It's a bedtime hug, a magical lullaby. The floating orbs and pillows swirled gently, the laughter forming delicate patterns of light and sound that wrapped around Finn and Jake like a soft blanket. Every echo bounced from walls to ceiling to floor, a symphony of gentle joy that carried them closer to peaceful sleep. Finn whispered softly, "Even what seems scary, even what seems quiet or empty, can hide joy. Even the smallest giggle, the tiniest echo can light the way home, and every piece of happiness can guide sleepy hearts safely into dreams." The tower hummed gently, the golden glow of the crystal heart pulsing in harmony with the echoes. Finn and Jake lay back, letting the magical laughter cradle them, the gentle warmth filling every corner of their hearts. The floating lights danced around them, the giggles twirled softly, and the tower seemed to sigh with contentment. And the tower whispered softly, "Even the tallest towers can hold joy. Even echoes can giggle. And every heart, every laugh, can guide friends home." The golden glow of the tower pulsed softly as Finn and Jake stirred, still wrapped in the warmth of the floating pillows, glowing orbs, and gentle echoes. The crystal heart at the center of the secret playground pulsed slowly, like a calm heartbeat, filling every corner of the tower with playful, soothing giggles. Finn whispered, "Jake, I think tonight we've seen all the magic this tower holds. All the giggles, all the warmth, all the laughter waiting to be discovered." Jake yawned, curling closer to Finn. "Yeah, and even though it looks spooky from the outside, inside, it's full of joy and comfort and sleepy magic." The echoes of laughter swirled gently around them, forming delicate ribbons of light that danced across the walls and ceiling. The tower seemed to stretch and breathe softly, as if it was alive, grateful for their company. Finn realized that the tower wasn't haunted by anything mean or frightening. It was alive with happiness, holding tiny treasures of laughter for anyone kind enough to notice them. Finn whispered softly, "Even the quietest places, even the shadows, can hold joy if you look closely and open your heart." A soft breeze drifted through the high windows, carrying the giggles across the tower's winding staircases, past the floating pillows and glowing mirrors, and into the quiet forest outside. Finn imagined the echoes spreading gently over the Land of Ooo, touching every leaf, every stream, and every sleeping creature with calm, playful magic. Jake nudged Finn gently. "Yeah, it's like the tower saying goodbye, but in a happy, gentle way, letting us carry its giggles with us." Finn stood slowly, brushing his hand over a floating orb. It twirled softly, releasing a tiny laugh from the April as it bounced off the walls one last time. "Goodbye, little friends. Thank you for sharing your happiness with us. Your laughter will stay in our hearts." The crystal heart pulsed slowly, sending a warm golden glow through the room. The echoes of giggles wrapped around Finn and Jake one final time, soft and musical, like a lullaby meant for bedtime. Finn whispered, "Even the tallest towers, even the quietest echoes, can guide friends home if you just follow the laughter." Jake yawned, stretching as the warm glow of the tower wrapped them both. "Yeah, and now we have a secret, a magical bedtime story, tucked inside our hearts, just like the tower wanted." The floating pillows drifted gently to the floor, the glowing orbs hovered lazily in the air, and the echoes of laughter settled softly into a gentle hum. The tower's heart pulsed calmly, its warm golden glow fading slowly as Finn and Jake made their way back down the winding staircase. Outside, the moon hung high in the sky, casting silver light across the forest. Finn and Jake stepped quietly onto the soft moss, feeling the warmth of the tower's magic linger around them. The faint giggles carried on the night breeze, wrapping the trees, the streams, and the sleeping creatures of Ooo in gentle comfort. Finn whispered softly, "Even the quietest night, even the tallest, oldest tower, can hold magic, if you listen for it, and let it fill your heart." Jake curled up beside Finn, tail wrapped around his arm. "Yeah, honey, and we'll never forget the giggles, the warmth, the playful magic of this place. The tower loomed softly in the distance, its windows faintly glowing like the last flickers of a friendly smile. Finn and Jake looked back one last time, imagining the echoes twirling inside, waiting patiently for the next kind-hearted adventurers to discover the gentle magic within. Finn yawned, brushing his eyes. Good night, Tower. Good night, little Giggles. Thank you for everything. Jake murmured sleepily. Good night. We'll carry your magic with us. Forever. The forest sighed gently, the leaves whispering as the soft moonlight bathed Finn and Jake in silver. The echoes of the tower drifted into the distance, soft and melodic, like a lullaby that promised warmth, comfort, and joy to all who listened. Finn and Jake curled up together on the moss, the gentle magic of the haunted tower lingering in their hearts. The golden giggles of the tower, the soft glow of the floating orbs, and the warmth of the crystal heart became a part of their dreams. Slowly they drifted into a deep, peaceful sleep. And the tower whispered one final time. Even the quietest towers can hold joy. Even the smallest giggle can light the way. And every heartbeat, every echo, every playful laugh can guide friends safely home. The night wrapped Finn, Jake, and the world around them in calm, warmth, and magic. And with that, their adventure in the haunted tower came to a gentle, heartwarming close, leaving them full of sleepy smiles and dreams of laughter that would carry them through the night.